I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Fuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the SEC, a lot of people's favorite conference. So this should be fun. I got a special guest that I will announce in a second, but before I do all that, I would like to ask you to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. Now we also got shows on the network. Like I said, we have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Right now we're doing panels, but they go live every Tuesday and Friday for the most part. It's about 7 to 8:30ish, talking football and basketball like right now. But like I said, right now we're doing NFL panels. This week, a little rundown of this week. So today was the Cowboys. Tomorrow is the Commanders. Thursday is the Eagles. And Friday, your boy is hosting the Ravens. So all those panels should start around 7 o'clock, 7:30. Make sure y'all tune into those. Next, we got Unfazed, who just went off the air, featuring Joe and AJ. They talked about their team schedules today. They go live 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, talking football and basketball. They're about to get in the swing of football. Football season is here. We got BWT, baseball with Teddy. Tigers just went off a walk-off walk. 1-0 tonight in the bottom of the 10th. So shout out to them for that. Still in first place in the American League. So shout out to my boys for that. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. So make sure y'all tune into that. We have Real Baller Only. And that's ran by my boy Vaughn. NBA season is slowly but surely coming. So make sure y'all tune into that when it's here. We have Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Again, this is the last week, of the preseason. Then it's 1 week break. Week 1 right here. So make sure you get your last little bit of fantasy football advice before your drafts. And for last but certainly not least, we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo boxing episode. So make sure for all your boxing needs, you go to In the Red Corner. And please like, comment, share, subscribe to those channels as well. It helps the network as well. If you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, we do have a fan, a part of the network of an SEC school. Besides me, because y'all know I like South Carolina as well. But the guy who started it all, the guy who's involved in everything, my boy Joe is a Texas fan. What's good, Joe?
What's up? Happy to be on CTC, previewing the SEC. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to have a lot of shocking surprises. Probably not so many surprises on some things. But I'm excited. I can't wait. And I would like to personally apologize for me procrastinating, but it's here. We finally got it done. And I'm excited to see what you think is going to happen in the SEC as well as me. But any other things you want to say before we get right started into Alabama?
I do want to say I feel like the SEC is not as strong at the top, probably like as it has been at the past, But I feel like there are more teams at the top.
So you think it's more parity in the SEC?
Yes. Okay. Back then it was just Alabama and Georgia, right? Or Alabama when Nick Saban was around. But now there's a lot of. We don't get to it. Let's get it.
I can get with that. I mean, you had your Ole Misses at a point in time. Mm-hmm. You had your LSUs at a point in time. Very small time. You had your Texas A&Ms, but. I feel you. I feel you. Let's roll right into Alabama. No pun intended. So
like that.
so Alabama coming off a 9-4, 5-3 season, 9-3 in the regular season. A lot of disappointment. First year Nick Saban's not there. They felt like Alabama didn't play to the standard. Obviously, with the loss of Vandy, does not help Kalen DeBoer with that. But this is his second year in the program. He did lose the ReliaQuest Bowl to Michigan. I got to bring it up again, 19-13. But whatever. They returned 14 starters on this year's Alabama's team. 6 on offense, 8 on defense, namely Ryan Williams, who some think is the second best receiver in the country. I don't think I agree with that. Really good freshman, really good receiver. But you had some other freshmen who went under the radar that was just as good, namely Jordan Tyson, who had a better season. But I digress. Ryan Williams, wide receiver, had 48 catches, 865 yards, and 8 touchdowns. They bring back Jam Miller, a running back with 145 carries, 668 yards, 4.6 a carry, and 7 touchdowns. Jeremy Bernard, a receiver that came actually from Washington, last year with DeBoer, 50 catches, 794 yards, 2 touchdowns. Deontay Lawson, a linebacker, had 76 total tackles, 36 solos, 2 sacks, 4 pass breakups, an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Bray Hubbard, a safety, who had 57 tackles, 35 solos, 2 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Damani Jackson, a cornerback, 51 total tackles, 27 solos, 7 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Keon Saab, a safety, who had 39 total tackles, 24 solos, 4 pass breakups, and 2 picks. Tim Keenan, a D lineman, who had 40 total tackles, 16 solos, 2.5 sacks, and a pass breakup. Xavier Brown, a linebacker, who had 18 total tackles, 14 solos. No, quarterback, had 18 total tackles, 14 solos, 2 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And Qual Rusar, a linebacker, who had 36 total tackles, 14 solos, a sack, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Now, I also forgot to mention that Kalen DeBoer brought his guy over. I know Joe doesn't really like him that much, but the OC is now Ryan Grubb. Who was with Kalen DeBoer at Washington and was supposed to come over to Alabama last season before being hired by the Seahawks. But now he's back with his boy DeBoer. He's back at Bama. Well, he's not back at Bama, but now he's at Bama where he was supposed to be last year. So it's real interesting to see that. Now some losses that Bama had. They lost Jalen Milroe, quarterback who's now on the Seahawks, who was 205 for 319, 64.3 completion percentage, 2,844 yards, 16 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, but 726 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns last season for Milroe. They lose Justice Haynes, who he said, "Man, we lost to him. You can't beat him. Join him." We went right to Michigan. Running back with 79 carries, 448 yards, 5.7 a carry, and 7 touchdowns. Jahad Campbell, who went to the Eagles, a linebacker with 119 total tackles, 55 solos, 5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, an interception, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Malachi Moore, who went to the Jets at safety, who had 70 total tackles, 40 solos, a sack, 8 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. They have the number 4 overall recruiting class and the 21st class in transfers. Talk to me about Bama, Joe.
So I do want to say they went 9-4 last year. That's the most losses since Nick Saban's first season, which is crazy. I do like the addition of Ryan Grubb, though, coming back to college, being an OC with his former head coach. And I do think the defense will be good, like always. I don't think they will skip a beat when it comes to defense. I think the question when it comes to Alabama is a quarterback position. But correct me if I'm wrong. When I see Washington, right, and I see the type of the QBs they have over there, it's the complete opposite of what Jalen Milroe was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Huh?
I said for sure.
Yeah, for sure, right? So I feel like Tom Simpson would be like, it's a type of quarterback that fits this offensive scheme more so than Jalen Milroe. So I feel like they can actually be better this year with Tom Simpson. I know he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but he's a junior, right? I think he's a junior, right?
I don't know if he redshirted any of his years. I'm assuming he did one of the years he didn't play. So maybe a redshirt sophomore, but it is his 3rd year out of high school.
3rd year, okay, cool. 3rd year. So, and then like you said, Ryan Williams, like he has weapons, whatever. He has one of the best receivers in college. So I think Alabama can have a bounce back. I mean, obviously 9-4 is not bad, but it's not Alabama. I feel like they can have a bounce back year this year.
Yeah, no. So I completely understand what you're saying about bounce back, and like to clear that up. like he said, to the Bama standard. Like you have a 9-4 season at most schools, you're like bounce back. This is a great season. No, not the Bama fans. Bama fans want you out of here if you're 9-4. So I agree with you completely, and I agree with you of how you success like Bama. I think they're going to be really good defensively, especially when you return 8 starters defensively. Now, defensively last year they weren't that great, but I feel like there was a lot of miscommunications, and I don't know. It just seemed like they just weren't themselves. Maybe it was because again, it's Nick Saban's first year not being there, and so maybe the board has to take more control of the program, or I don't know. But it didn't look the same. But I do think they will be better next season. I'm interested to see Ty Simpson. That's my biggest question mark at quarterback. Tom Simpson. I don't really know too much about the guy. I know, like you say, he's supposed to be highly talented, but we see a lot of highly talented guys not pan out. We've seen Jake Garcia. We've seen Tyler Van Dyke. We've seen Graham Mertz. Now, Graham Mertz, some people might disagree with me with that, but hey, to each his own. But we've seen 5-star guys. Tate Martell went to UNLV and couldn't win the job. So, like, we've seen guys highly touted out of high school and not live up to the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest question mark to me is how well will Ty Simpson be in this Alabama offense? Like you say, that Ryan Grubb loves to throw the ball in. So that's my biggest question mark. I got some transfers that they got brought in. I think the biggest one is Isaiah Horton, wide receiver that was at Miami with Cam last season. He had 56 catches, 616 yards, and 5 touchdowns in a crowded receiving corps, might I add. Nakai Hill-Green, a linebacker from Colorado, who had 82 total tackles, 53 solos, 2 sacks, 4 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. And he brings Cam Calhoun, a transfer cornerback from Utah, who had 21 total tackles, 12 solos, 9 pass breakups, and an interception, which I really like players in that Utah defense. So I think he's going to come in and play well for the Alabama rolling side. Last year, they were 42nd in total offense, 21st in total defense, 56th in passing, 47th in rushing, 22nd in scoring offense, 19th in passing defense, 48th in rushing defense, and 10th in scoring defense. Any transfers you want to bring up, Joe?
No, I mean, you talked about it. You talked about, I mean, like you said, Isaiah Horton. I think that's going to be a big pickup going alongside with Ryan Williams. Also, they got Cam Dewberry, the left guard. That might be key also. But I'm ready to get to the schedule.
Yes, sir. So
let's get to it, the fun part.
Yes, sir. So the first game of the season with Thomas Castellanos came out and said that Florida State will beat Bama. I think he's tripping. I have Bama winning this game.
I do too.
At Florida State, might I add. Next game, SEC out of conference scheduling right here. UL Monroe, I have as a win.
I have that as a win also.
Then against Wisconsin in the home-to-home. This time is in Bama, Bear Bryant Stadium. I have as a W.
I do too.
All right, at Georgia. I actually had this as a loss at first and changed it. I'm going with a win.
Okay. I know they beat Georgia last year. It was a crazy game. But I have them doing it again. I got them winning this game too.
They actually dominated Georgia last year, but allowed Georgia to come back. That game, most of the game.
Shout out to your boy, right?
Yeah. Next,
what's the quarterback name for Georgia last year?
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck, yeah.
Shout out
and Ron Williams went crazy at the end of that game too. Didn't he hit that game with a touchdown? Basically,
that spin move on the sideline.
Yeah.
Shout out Ace and Carson Beck. Next, we got Vanderbilt. I have as a win.
I do too.
Revenge game, by the way. Next, at Missouri, I have as a win.
I actually had this one as an L.
All right, so I'm not sure how I feel about Missouri post Brady Cook. They've had 2 10-win seasons the past 2 years, but again, that was with Brady Cook. And Bo Pribula is an unproven guy from Penn State who was mainly used as a gadget guy at Penn State last season. So I'm interested to see how he does at quarterback. I don't think Mizzou is going to beat Bama, but I respect it. Next, at home against Tennessee, I have as a win.
I have that as a win too.
On the road against South Carolina, I have as a loss.
I knew it. I got that as a win.
Hey man, I think we lost in heartbreak fashion last year. I think we're gonna get revenge this year.
Okay.
Next, at home against LSU, I have as a win.
I do too.
But side note, I can never get this game right, but I have as a win.
I this is one I had as a loss, and I scratched it out and put it as a W.
Oh, okay, cool. Next, we got Oklahoma. I have as a win.
I do too.
Eastern Illinois, I have as a win.
I do too.
The Iron Bowl at Auburn. I have as a win.
Okay, I do too.
So I have Bama going 11-1, 7-1 in conference.
I have them 11-1, 7-1 in conference. Like I said, bouncing back from last year.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Next,
Real line.
we go. We move on. Oh, which is the over 9.5 wins.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Next, we got the University of Arkansas and Sam Pittman, which I actually heard somebody saying Sam Pittman's job should be on the line. I kind of thought that's kind of. I think so. I think he's been consistently good, like in terms of how he's been at Arkansas. Like I don't think they've had too many like drop offs. Like I think they've just been around the same. Now, if you're tired of his stagnation, I can see that. But I mean, he's. What do you expect at Arkansas? And then now you got the SEC where everybody plays everybody. It's not SEC East, SEC West anymore. So I felt like that was going to hurt Arkansas, even though they were in the West. So they had like tough competition. But now you got to play like you can play Georgia, Tennessee, Bama, all in the same season. Like that's tough. But anyway, Arkansas was coming off a 76 3-5 season with a won the Liberty Bowl 39-26 versus Texas Tech. They returned 8 starters on from the team last year, 4 on offense, 4 on defense, namely Taylor Green, who's a speedy athletic quarterback coming back, who was 230 of 381, 60.4% completion percentage, 3,154 yards, 15 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, but 602 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. Xavier Sori, junior linebacker, who had 99 total tackles, 41 solos, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, and interception. Stephen Dix, a linebacker, who had 70 total tackles, 24 solos, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. And Cameron Ball, a defensive lineman, who had 46 total tackles, 22 solos, a sack and a half, and a fumble recovery. And Jaheim Singletary, a cornerback, who had 24 total tackles, 14 solos, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Now, they did lose a lot. They lost Jaquindon Jackson, a running back who was really good, tough-nosed runner, 149 carries, 790 yards, 5.3 a carry, and 15 touchdowns, currently on the Jags. Andrew Armstrong, a receiver with 78 total tackles, 1,140 yards, and a touchdown, currently on the Dolphins. Isaac Tesla, who had 28 catches, 546 yards, and 3 touchdowns, currently on the Lions. And Isaiah Santanga, who was a receiver who had 37 catches for 491 yards and a touchdown, currently transferred to Oklahoma. They lost Luke Haas, a tight end who had 26 catches, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, who currently transferred to Ole Miss.
Big loss.
Danilo Slaughter, a defensive back currently on the Jags, who had 78 total tackles, 44 solos, a sack, 6 pass breakups, an interception, and a forced fumble. TJ Metcalf, a defensive back who's currently on Michigan, who transferred, who had 56 total tackles, 29 solos, 7 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Landon Jackson, the edge rusher currently on the Bills, who had 49 total tackles, 28 solos, 6.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Brad Spence, a linebacker on the Texans, who had 55 total tackles, 27 solos, 4.5 sacks, and a pass breakup. And Marquise Robinson, a defensive back currently on the Ravens, who had 35 total tackles, 19 solos, 7 pass breakups, and a pick. They had the 32nd overall recruiting class, 16th in transfers. Talk to me about Arkansas, Joe.
Yeah, like you said, they got a lot of transfers. They the second most in the SEC. They lost a lot of pieces, but they gained a lot also from the transfer portal, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They basically their whole starting receiving core are all transfers. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be different. Taylor Green, dual threat QB. But the issue with Arkansas is going to be their defense. I don't think their defense is going to hold up this year. I don't think they will be good this year. I think it's going to be their downfall this year. So, yeah, that's my feedback for Arkansas.
So I'm not going to talk about how I feel they're going to be yet because I don't want to spoil anything. But
okay.
I do agree defensively is going to be different because Landon Jackson, who's the heart and soul of that pass rush, that defense in general, he's now gone to the next level. And I don't know who's going to step up and replace that. And I also feel like Taylor Green, yes, very dual threat, speedy guy. Get him in open field. You just watch them long strides. But passing the football can be spotty to me at times, and that's why he had to leave Boise State because he lost the job to Maddox. So that is my issue as well. I do like the receiver they brought in from Fresno State, Raylan Sharp. I was actually surprised I saw it. He had 51 catches, 523 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I'm like, oh, they got him. That's a nice little pickup right there. I like the running back from New Mexico State as well, Mike Washington Jr., 157 carries, 725 yards, 4.6 carrying, 8 touchdowns. And then they bring in Julian Neal, a cornerback from Stanford, who had 35 tackles, 22 solos, a sack, 5 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Hopefully, he can try to force some turnovers for the Arkansas defense. But yeah, like I said, like you said, and piggybacking off that, I think defensively is going to be the biggest question mark for Arkansas. I think offensively they'll be fine. I think Sam Pittman and his guys, they'll figure it out, especially with the dynamics of Taylor Green. It's just the defense might be an issue. Last year they were 10th in total offense, 73rd in total defense, 18th in passing, 34th in rushing, tied 44th in scoring offense, 110th in passing defense. Oh no, hold on. Yep, 110th, 34th in rushing defense, and 66th in scoring defense. You ready to talk about the schedule?
Let's get it.
All right. So first game, Alabama A&M, W.
W also.
Next game, Arkansas State, a W.
W also.
First SEC game at Ole Miss, I have as an L.
I do too.
Then at Memphis, I have them winning only because Memphis, from my knowledge, loses a lot. But I was thinking about this one for a minute.
I got a W.
All right. Next, against Notre Dame at home, L.
L.
At Tennessee, I have as a loss.
L.
At home against Texas A&M, I have as a loss.
I do too.
At home against Auburn, I have as a loss.
I actually have this one as a W.
I'm going to save why I got this as a loss, but just know Auburn might be back.
It's crazy because I like when I was doing the schedules, like one of the last few games I picked was this game. This was one of the last few games I was stuck on. So, but I had this as a W.
I ain't gonna lie.
Auburn back, okay.
Fast. Next game, Mississippi State, I have as a win.
W.
Next game at LSU, I have as a loss.
Same. L.
Next game at Texas, I have as a loss.
L.
And final game, a rivalry game against Missouri, I have as a win.
Woo! I got this one as a L.
This is a rivalry game where in this series, anything.
And they are home too.
Yeah, I got Mizzou winning this one. So I got Arkansas going 5-7.
Hold on, you got Mizzou winning this one, you said?
No, I got Arkansas winning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got Arkansas going 5-7, 2-6 in conference play, taking the under 5.5 win total.
Yeah, I got them 5-7, 3-5 in conference play, and I got the under also.
All right. We're gonna move on to War Eagle, Auburn. Auburn is coming off of a 5-7, 2-6 season, but some might say it's a loss. I say good riddance. As a guy who played for MSU, Peyton Thorne is gone. So Peyton Thorne, to me, at first, he might have just been a product of Kenneth Walker, bro. It is what it is. But they returned 11 starters, 6 on offense, 5 on defense, namely another freshman receiver who some might say is up there with Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman had 37 catches, 598 yards, and 8 touchdowns last season. A phenomenal year for the freshman. Malcolm Simmons, a wide receiver who had 40 catches, 451 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And they returned 4 of their offensive linemen. They lose their left guard from last season. They returned Keldrick Falk, who led them in sacks, who had 7 sacks, 45 total tackles, 30 solos, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Caleb Harris, safety, had 44 total tackles, 29 solos, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Sylvester Smith, a safety, who had 28 total tackles, 17 solos, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Kalen Lee, a cornerback, who had 32 total tackles, 29 solos, 7 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Jay Crawford, cornerback, who had 15 total tackles, 13 solos, 7 pass breakups, and an interception. Now, they lost the heartbeat of that offense, and some might say the offense wasn't that good anyway, but I say they should have used them more. Jarquez Hunter. Now, Jarquez Hunter had 187 carries, so if he had 187 carries, and I feel like that's still not enough, that says something. But he had 187 carries, 1,201 yards, 6.4 carry, and 8 touchdowns. Currently on the Rams. They lost Keandre Lambert-Smith, who actually had a pretty good season coming over from Penn State. 50 catches, 981 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Currently on the Chargers. They lose Eugene Asante, who had 45 total tackles, 31 solos, 2.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery on the Dolphins. They lost Dorian Mousy Jr., linebacker, who had 81 total tackles, 50 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Jaron Thompson, a safety, who had 65 total tackles, 45 solos, a sack, 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And Jalen McLeod Jr. Jalen McLeod, a linebacker, had 56 total tackles, 40 solos, 8 sacks. So excuse me, I thought Keldrick actually let him know. It was actually Jalen McLeod. 8 sacks, a pass breakup, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and he is currently on the Jags. They have the 6th overall recruiting class, 8th in transfers. Talk to me about Auburn, Joe.
Yeah, so Auburn. So this was a tricky one for me. 4 consecutive losing seasons. It's the first time since 1947 to 1950, which is crazy. So having 5 in a row will be insane. So they want to break that streak, obviously. Jackson Arnold, I feel like, coming from Oklahoma, I feel like this is probably it is a much better supporting cast he had in Oklahoma. So I think he's better fit right here. I do think he takes a lot of sacks, but I think I know you mentioned Cam Coleman, but a big addition for me is Eric Singleton Jr. Coming from Georgia Tech, he was their best receiver last year. That's going to be a huge addition for him this year. So Auburn, they have that type of team where they could be like that 500 team, or they could be one of those contenders in the SEC.
So I was going to talk about that when we got to the transfers. I was going to talk about Jackson Arnold coming in because, again, I've said it before. Jackson Arnold got a bad rap at Oklahoma, and it was not his fault. What do you want the man to do when his top 6 receivers are all injured? What do you want me to do?
It's crazy.
I don't know. I can't do nothing with that. So I felt like he should have got the grace that he didn't get. They thought, oh, well, let's turn to Michael Hawkins. It didn't look good either. So nobody said, all right, bro, we just don't have the numbers at receiver to do this. So I think him coming to Auburn, like you said, with Eric Singleton Jr., who I was going to talk about as well, had a really good year at Georgia Tech. You match that with Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons, it bodes for a really good offense. And they bring over Darrell Robinson, a running back from UConn, who had 731 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think that's going to be solid as well. I think offensively, Auburn is going to be much better than Peyton Thorne, and I forgot who else they had at quarterback last year. It don't matter. It was bad. And then I think Auburn always has a solid defense, in my opinion. I don't think the defense is Auburn's problems throughout this 4-season losing streak. I think that's always been the problem has been quarterback play. And just, I think honestly, it's just been quarterback play. I mean, you've had a running back, you've had Jaquez Hunter, you've had guys, you had Tank Bigsby. You just didn't have a quarterback, in my opinion. And now you have one in Jackson Arnold, in my opinion. So I think they're going to be fine. And they also bring over Chris Murray from Sam Houston, who had 5.5 sacks last season and 2 forced fumbles. So I'm interested to see how he does to help Keldrick Falk on the opposite side. I think Auburn is going to be in for a good surprise. And also, one of those 4 seasons was only Hugh Freeze, which this is his 2nd year at Auburn. So I know Auburn fans are looking for him to break the curse, but Auburn finished 29th in total offense, 31st in total defense, 28th in passing, which was crazy for me to see. But I was thinking, they had to throw the ball to come back. So maybe that was a part of it. 62nd at rushing, 71st in scoring offense, 52nd in passing defense, 27th in rushing defense, and 28th in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can talk about the schedule.
Let's get it, man. I'm curious to see what you guys say on this one.
All right, cool. So first game is at Baylor. And if you watch my I keep saying Pac-12, Big 12 preview, I got Baylor winning this game because it's at home and Baylor ended the season high. I'm actually high on Baylor, so I got Baylor.
Oh, you are? Okay. I actually got this as a W.
I can see it. It's a game that can go either way. SEC defense versus Big 12 offense. Big 12 really don't play defense, but Baylor is a school that actually in years past have had played defense. So I think it's a tightly contested ball game. I gave Baylor the edge being at home.
All right.
Next, against Ball State, I have as a win.
Mm-hmm. W.
South Alabama, I have as a win.
Mm-hmm.
At Oklahoma, I have as a win.
I have this as an L.
Ooh, you don't think Jackson Arnold gets revenge against his former school?
Yeah, but in Oklahoma too. That's why I picked this as an L because it's at Oklahoma.
I get that, and they got John Mateer. We'll talk about that later. But John Mateer, allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, some gambling things going on. I don't know. So we'll see about that one. But that kind of went into my Oklahoma preview. I'm not sure if it's honestly true or not, but it kind of went into it because it's been some reports. I'm like, that's not true, and then it actually was true. So, next game at Texas A&M at Cal Field, I have as a loss.
Okay, I do too.
Next game, Georgia, I have as a loss.
I do too.
Next game, Missouri, I have as a win.
I do too.
Next game at Arkansas, I have as a win.
I already said it. I had it as a loss.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you had this as a loss. Next
Yeah, I
game,
was about to say it's
Kentucky.
funny. I had it as a loss, but I just realized we already went over Arkansas.
Yeah, Kentucky, I have as a win.
I do too.
At Vanderbilt, I have as a win, but it was close.
I got this as a win too.
All right, Mercer, a win.
I do too.
And then the Iron Bone we already talked about have as an L. So I have Auburn going 8-4, 5-3, taking the over 7.5 win total by the hook, and they finally have a bowl game to cheer about.
Yeah, I got 7-6, but
7-5.
7-5. Sorry, I'm tripping. 7-5 and 3-5.
Yeah, because you got
Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
you got Arkansas as a loss, and you have Oklahoma as a loss. Yep.
Yeah, 7-5, 3-5 in the
Okay.
conference.
I don't know if Auburn fans gonna be happy with a losing SEC
I
record, but I know
know.
they'll be happy about that bowl game. I do know that.
They'll be happy to having a losing season for the
Yeah.
first yeah.
Next, we're gonna move on to Florida.
Ooh.
The DJ Lagway era is officially here. Coming off an 8-5, 4-4 season where they won the Gasparilla Bowl 33-8 against Tulane. Just stomped them in that one. They returned 13 starters, 6 on offense, 7 on defense. Again, namely DJ Lagway stepping into his sophomore year. We went 115 on 192, 59.9 completion percentage, 1,915 yards, 12 touchdowns to 9 interceptions last season. They returned 4 offensive linemen as well. They returned Hayden Henson, a tight end, who had 15 catches for 207 yards and a touchdown. They returned Grayson Howard, a linebacker, who had 37 total tackles, 17 solos, a sack, a pass breakup, forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. Tyreek Sapp, an edge rusher, who had 46 total tackles, 20 solos, 7 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Caleb Banks, a defensive lineman, with 21 total tackles, 10 solos, 4.5 sacks, pass breakup, and a forced fumble. Jordan Castle, a safety, with 55 total tackles, 29 solos, a sack, and 9 pass breakups. Devin Moore, a cornerback, who had 17 total tackles, 8 solos, 2 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. And Bryce Thornton, a safety, who had 41 total tackles, 19 solos, 3 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions with a forced fumble. Now, they do lose Graham Mertz. Again, not the biggest Graham Mertz fan here, but he went 72-94, 76.6 completion percentage, 791 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Got drafted by the Texans, but he tore his ACL, something like that last year. He had a major injury last year that ended his season early. Montrell Johnson, a running back who had 100 carries, 593 yards, 5.9 a carry, and 6 touchdowns, currently on the Eagles. Elijah Bader, a receiver who had 39 catches for 106 yards and 4 touchdowns on the Chiefs. Kymere Dike, a receiver who had 42 catches, 783 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Titans, currently. Triqueezy Bridges, a defensive back with 69 total tackles, 38 solos, 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles on the Chargers currently. Shamar James, a linebacker currently on the Cowboys, who had 64 total tackles, 34 solos, 2 sacks, 3 pass breakups, an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And Jack Pyburn, a defensive end currently transferred to LSU, who had 60 total tackles, 20 solos, a sack, interception, and a forced fumble. They had the 9th overall recruiting class and 77th in transfers. Talk to me about Florida and Billy Napier.
So Florida, they got DJ Lagway. I feel like they're gonna have a talented offense. And the trenches, I think that's where they're strong at, right? The trenches from the offensive side of the ball, especially. I think they're gonna have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Well, in the
country.
In the country. The QB was good out of high school, number 1 QB out of high school last season. So and Florida had a really good year. You know, they had some good wins too. They almost beat Georgia. So like, you know, Florida is like Auburn to me. They can be this average team, or they can actually be a potential contender. You know what I mean? So we'll see when we get to the schedule.
Yeah, so as a guy who highly dislikes Florida, South Carolina all day, I'm actually high on Florida this year. There's no bias on my show, but I think Florida's going to be a really good team. I think they bring back a ton of experience. I think DJ Lagway will be much better than he was last year. And he had spectacular moments last year, as there are. And I think a lot of the heat is going to be off of Billy Napier after this season. It is a lot of heat coming onto him right now. Like, his heat is hot, even going 8-5, 4-4. He's still got a hot seat in my opinion, but I think they'll be just fine. I think defensively they're going to be grimy. They're going to be Florida. They're going to have a speedy defense. They're going to move around. They're gonna fly around actually. But a guy I like to talk about is a guy who I was surprised is still in college, Jermichael Studevant. That's a big transfer receiver coming over from UCLA. Didn't have the greatest year last year, but he had a pretty good year in 2023. Last year he had 22 catches, 315 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They do bring in a safety, Michael Caraway, who came over from Southern Mississippi, who had 37 total tackles, 24 solos, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. Last year, they were 66 in total offense, 76 in total defense, 69th in passing, 67th in rushing, tied 64th in scoring offense, 83rd in passing defense, tied 66th in rushing defense, and tied 43rd for scoring, defense. If you're ready, we can get to the schedule.
Let's get it.
All right, so first game is against Long Island University, which I have as a win.
W.
Next game is against South Florida. I have as a win.
Okay, where you was talking. I had W.
Next game, first game of the season, Valley, LSU. I actually have this as a loss.
I do too.
Next game, at the U, the Miami Hurricanes. I have this as a win.
I do too.
All right, next game, Texas, at home. I have this as a win.
Oh!
Y'all coming to the swamp.
Okay, God.
I have Florida winning this game.
I got us winning. Okay. Let's get it.
Then after that, I don't think they win back-to-back games against Texas and Texas A&M. I have them losing at Cal Field. Cal Field is such a crazy place to play.
Yeah, I got them in back-to-back L's. I got them losing to Texas A&M.
Yep. Then I have them bouncing back against Mississippi State.
Same.
And then the world's largest cocktail party, Georgia, Florida, played in Jacksonville. Florida wins.
You know what's crazy? Because after last year, I was so close to picking them to win this game, but I picked Georgia. I got Georgia winning this game.
I got Florida, man. This game is just crazy. I remember even dating back to the Jordan Reed diving 5 yards away from the end zone and fumbling game. Like, bro, this game is just nuts. And
Jordan Reed.
crazy things happen. So I got Florida winning this. And then they go from the world's biggest cocktail party to at Kentucky. Got it as a win.
W. Yeah.
And then I have them losing at Ole Miss.
I got them losing too.
And I have them winning against Tennessee in the swamp. Tennessee, for whatever reason, just can't get a W in the swamp. Even dating back to Peyton Manning, they just can't win in the swamp.
Yeah, I got them beating Tennessee.
All right, and then last but not least, Florida State at home to be state champions. I have as a win.
Oh, I had that as an L.
I got them being state champions. They beat South Florida, Miami, and Florida State to be state champions.
So you got them 9-3.
9-3, 5-3.
Ooh. You say you high. I got 6-6, 3-5.
Ooh, you got my boy Billy Napier getting fired.
Yo, like I had them losing. See, the difference we have is the Texas, Georgia, and then you got Florida State at the end. Those are three. I mean, that's crazy how
he loses to Florida State. He for sure getting fired.
I just realized you got them beating Texas and Georgia.
Then y'all got to come to the swamp. If y'all was in Austin, I would pick y'all, but y'all got to come to the swamp.
I mean, I ain't mad at it, All right. And they almost beat Georgia last year.
Yep. That game's a neutral site. I mean, kind of technically a neutral site because, I mean, I don't think Jacksonville is that far from Gainesville, but I don't think it's that far from Atlanta either. So.
Yeah.
But we can move on to Georgia. By the way, I got the over 7.5 win total. Joe has the under. So
I had the under, yeah.
We'll move on to Georgia. With Georgia coming off SEC championship season, where they beat Texas, 22-19 in overtime. Yeah, I want to say it was a single overtime. Then they lose in the college football quarterfinals to Notre Dame, but they were without Carson Beck, who got hurt in the SEC championship game. It was out for the remainder of the season. They lost to Notre Dame 23-10. They were 11-3, 6-2 last season. They returned 7 starters on offense, 7 starters in general, 4 on offense, 3 on defense. They returned Dylan Bell, a receiver, had 43 catches, 466 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Oscar Delp, the tight end, with 21 catches, 248 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They returned Dayton, Everett, cornerback, who has 58 total tackles, 45 solos, a sack, 3 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Christian Miller, defensive lineman, with 27 tackles, 12 solos, a sack and a half, and a pass breakup. C.J. Allen, a linebacker, who had 76 total tackles, 49 solos, 4 pass breakups, and a pick. Now they do lose Carson Beck, who transfers to the University of Miami. 290 for 48, 64.7 completion percentage, 3,485 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. They lost Trevor Etienne, a running back who had 122 carries, 609 yards, 5 a carry, and 9 touchdowns. Currently on the Panthers. They lost Arian Smith, who had a knack for getting open, but also had a knack for dropping passes. Currently on the Jets, who had 48 catches, 817 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Dominic Levitt, receiver, had 59 catches, 607 yards, 6 touchdowns. Currently on the Lions. Malachi Starks, safety, currently on the Ravens, 77 total tackles, 52 solos, 3 pass breakups, and a pick. Dan Jackson, currently on the Lions, safety, who has 64 total tackles, 47 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Jalen Walker off the edge, currently on the Falcons, who had 61 total tackles, 38 solos, 6.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries. Michael Williams, also another edge rusher, with 21 total tackles, 15 solos, 5 sacks, a pass breakup, and 2 forced fumbles on the 49ers. Small Munden, Small Munden Jr. linebacker, currently on the Eagles, 57 total tackles, 29 solos, 3 sacks, 3 pass breakups. And Chaz Chambliss, currently on the Vikings, with 41 total tackles, 26 solos, 6.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery. They were second in recruiting, 22nd in transfers. Talk to me about Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia defense will be elite. First, I want to say this: Kirby Smart, best coach in college football. Best coach. I mean, you don't think so?
Hey, man, I was talking to Ace earlier, and I'm going back to Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom is Western Kentucky. Last 2 Conference USA titles were under Jeff Brom. Purdue, who currently went winless in the Big Ten, made the Big Ten championship under Jeff Brom. Louisville, first year under Jeff Brom, goes to the ACC championship game, but loses to Florida State. Jeff Brom is honestly under the radar, making a push that while Nick Saban is gone, for the best coach in college football. And I get it. Kirby Smart at Georgia has 2 national titles. But the talent that Jeff Brom works with, compared to the talent that Kirby Smart gets, is drastically different.
That's the difference right there. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But yeah, like, he is an elite coach, though, man. I mean, I saw it firsthand, and both of the times we played him. I mean, we just straight up got coached both games that we lost to Georgia last year. So I'm really high on Georgia, man. Like, I have a lot of respect for Kirby Smart. They will be prepared. Now, what worries me about Georgia is the QB play, Gunner. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna get from Gunner. What I saw last year, it doesn't make me comfortable with them this year offensively. So I think Nate Frazier is going to have a big load this year. I think he has to be really good. They run the back, but as long as Kirby Smart there with that defense, I think they'll be straight still.
I was going to bring that up. I like the fact you brought that up. Nate Frazier for sure is going to have a lot on his back, but I also like the fact that they bring over Josh McCray from Illinois to spell Nate Frazier so he doesn't get hurt, because Josh McCray is a really good back in his own right from Illinois. I do agree with your sentiments about Gunnar Stockton. I don't know what I'm going to get. Last year it was not pretty, but to his defense, he was thrown in a super fire. You get thrown into a SEC championship game, turn around, and your second game is a college football playoff game. That's a tremendous fire to be thrown in. So I'll give him a little grace. Now, defensively, I don't know how they're going to be. They lose a ton defensively. Now, Georgia's good at reloading with talent, i.e. the second overall recruiting class, but they still got to produce on the field, and that's what I don't know if I'm going to get. You lose Malachi, you lose Jalen, you lose Mikhail, you lose Small Money, you lose all these guys. How often are you going to reload time in and time out to be an elite defense year in and year out? And that's what I don't know if I'm going to get. And quiet as kept, Stetson Bennett was the quarterback to get them two natties. The year after he left, they didn't even make the playoffs. They were complaining, but you lost to Bama in the SEC championship game. What are you complaining for? And then last year, I know your quarterback got hurt, but I don't know if Georgia beats Ohio State even with Carson Beck. I don't know that. So,
I will say this about Gunner though. He's been in that system. He's a hometown guy. Like you said with Bennett, they were really good with him and same thing. He's been in that system. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I will say about him. He's been around. And like you said, he got thrown into the fire. Like he got thrown into the two biggest games of the
Yeah,
whole
his
season. It
career.
was
Yeah.
crazy. And like I think were they down when he got put in against us?
Nah, I think I think they were up or either
Oh
tied. It
yeah,
was
they
either
took a
tied or
lead
they were
early.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, man, they just straight dominated us both games for
It was them trenches.
real. Yips,
Them
man.
trenches. That's what it was. But yeah, man, I like the Josh McCray transfer, like I said earlier, but I really like the Zachariah Branch transfer. A speedy, electric, not only receiver but return man. So he's gonna do multiple things.
Good
That's a
playmaker.
huge pickup. They got his brother too, so that was cool. They got Noah Thomas to help as well at receiver, which is good. They bring back London
Mhm.
Humphreys, who's a solid receiver in his own right. So that's good as well. And then they bring somebody off the edge by the name of Elo Meduzzi from Army, who had 6.5 sacks at Army in the American Conference. So interested to see what he does off the edge for Georgia. They were 51st in total offense, 30th in total defense, 12th in passing, 102nd in rushing, 38th in scoring offense, 38th in passing defense, 36th in rushing defense, and 23rd in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can get to the schedule.
Let's get it.
All right. So first game of the season, Marshall, I have as a win, especially Charles Huff took all his players. It's a win.
I got W.
Austin P, I have as a win.
I had that as a win too.
At Tennessee, I have as a win.
Okay, me too.
Then on the at home, excuse me, against Bama, we talked about I have as a L. Then the next game against Kentucky at home, I have as a win.
Mm-hmm.
Then at Auburn, I have as a win. We talked about that.
Oh, we did. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
I got W.
Then at home against Ole Miss, I had scratched this out twice. So I went with a win. Then I went with a loss.
He went
But
back to
ultimately
the
went with a
W.
win.
I went with a loss.
Only reason why I went with a win is because I don't know what Austin Simmons for Ole Miss is really going to what he is. I don't know what he's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I do know this: Ole Miss don't typically have a defense. So if it comes down to it, yes, I get Jackson Dart and Ole Miss beat Georgia. Actually, funny enough, they actually beat them with defense, but that's because Carson Bay looked bad. If it come down to Ole Miss defense versus Georgia defense, I'm going Georgia.
I feel you. I feel you on that.
Next game, the world's largest cocktail party against Florida. I have as a L. You got
W.
to win. Then at Mississippi State, I have as a W.
W.
Then at home against Texas, I have as
Uh-huh.
a L.
Whoa! It's a shout out to you. I
I
got
think
this as a W.
I just 3 times in a row is crazy. If y'all lose 3 straight, that's crazy. That's literally how I went with Texas. Y'all got to fight back.
I feel you, bro, but like it's how we lost, man. And I'm not going to blame. Well, Archie Manning is more mobile.
It didn't matter last year though. That D line was cooking
Crazy.
yeah, but that D line is no longer there unless they got guys.
But like you said, they do a great job reloading. And number 2 recruiting class. So like I do not think Georgia will miss a beat defensively. It's just the offense, the quarterback play that worries me with them.
Yeah,
So
but like, bro, y'all can't lose them 3 times straight in a row.
We can't. So I hope you're right.
All right, and then against Charlotte, shout out Tim Albin, but ain't no way. Got it as a W.
W.
And then last game of the season, the rivalry game against Georgia Tech, actually at the Mercedes-Benz Dome this year. Got it as a win.
Oh, but okay.
I wanted to go with Georgia Tech so badly, but I got it as a win.
Same. Got it as a W too. So 10-2, 6-2 conference.
9-3, 5-3. So I got the under by the hook and the over under 9.5. You got the over by the hook.
When's the last time Georgia won 9 games?
I can't tell you, to be honest. Probably. I think I say this. It's probably closer than we think. I can Google that real quick. I would want to say 2017 was like with Nick Chubb. I think was leaving. It could have been around there though, because I think Nick Chubb got hurt his last season at Georgia, and that's why he fell to the second round. Or no, because that was with Sony Michel too.
I got you. 2020.
It's closer than we thought. Oh, wait, that don't count though. I think that was a shortened season.
Yeah, they went 8-2. So
that don't count.
2016, 8-5.
I said 2017. Close. I was close.
Yeah.
I was close.
Woo.
I was close. I take that one.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Would they go 2017?
Oh, 2017. I think I put.
I just want to know now.
No, they third. I mean, obviously it's counting everything, but 13-2.
Is that the year they went to the SEC championship
They
and
were
won?
seven. Yeah, they. I'm not sure, but they were 7. They were 7-1 though in
I can,
conference play.
yeah, they definitely went to the SEC championship game, especially with the format back then. I know for sure they won the SEC East.
What's your conference record for them?
5-3. I got them losing.
Woo!
I got them losing to Texas, Florida. I just turned the page, but Texas, Florida, and Bama.
Dang, you got them losing 3.
Yo,
All right, let's get it.
I know Tony gonna have something to say when he sees this. It is what it is. I'm not tripping. I'm ready for it. I mean, some of these games could be switched. Like, the Texas game, they could easily win. Not easily, but they could win.
Yeah, they can win that.
And then that changes everything.
Yeah, and you got them beating Ole Miss though. Okay.
Yeah. So they beat Auburn in the SEC championship game that year. And then that's the year they beat Kyler. No, yeah, that had to be the year they beat Kyler in the playoffs and then lost to Bama off that stupid cover 2 ball by Tua Tagovailoa in the championship game. Okay.
Oh man, shout out to Jalen Hurts.
Shout out. I know.
It's like, nah, I had to.
Next, Kentucky, which, man, I feel so bad for Kentucky, man. Because
Man,
I like
what?
Mark Stoops. I like Mark Stoops. I do. And I want him to stay in Kentucky for as long as he can. But I don't know if Kentucky fans going to accept 4-8, 1-7, which is what they were coming off of last year. They returned 7 starters, 3 on offense, 4 on defense. They returned tight end Josh Keatis, who had 6 catches, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Levitt, a safety who had 63 total tackles, 36 solos, pass breakup, and 2 interceptions. Alex Afari, a safety who had 62 total tackles, 35 solos, and a sack and a half, and a pass breakup. And Ty Bryant, a safety who had 46 total tackles, 30 solos, and interception, 2 forced fumbles. Now, they lost a lot. Oh, excuse me. They returned a cornerback, John Chris Hardaway, 47 total tackles, 33 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 4 fumbles. Some of what they lost, I was cool with. Like Brock Vandegrift. Like, yeah, they're a solid season, but you're fine. He went 125 of 218, 57.3 completion percentage, 1,593 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I believe he got hurt. The big losses to me, they lost Dane Key, a receiver who's currently transferred to Nebraska, 47 catches, 715 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And another big loss is Barrion Brown, a receiver who went to LSU, transferred to LSU, 29 catches, 361 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's the biggest thing about it. They lost 2 receivers who transferred to different schools, not to the NFL. Another big loss is Maxwell Harrison, who get well soon, got injured, but he was drafted in the first round to the Bills. 19 total tackles, 15 solos, a sack, 4 pass breakers, an interception, touchdown, and 2 forced fumbles. Which, by the way, I called the Bills drafted him in that spot. Jamin Johnson, a linebacker with 67 total tackles, 39 solos, 3.5 sacks, an interception, forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, and a scoop and score. Currently on the Packers. Zion Childress, currently on the Cowboys. Heard his name a lot earlier in the Cowboys panel. 55 total tackles, 34 solos, a sack, 2 pass breakups, and 4 forced fumbles. Deion Walker, the big fella, D tackle, 37 total tackles, 13 solos, a sack and a half, 2 pass breakers, and a fumble recovery on the Bills. And J.J. Weaver, edge rusher, currently on the Panthers, 32 total tackles, 17 solos, 5 sacks, pass breakup, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. They're the 25th overall recruiting class, 10th in transfers. Talk to me about Kentucky.
Well, they beat Ole Miss last year. All right, but which is crazy for Ole Miss. But
yeah,
4-8 record, worst record in 11 years. So like they are spiraling down. I'm not high on them at all this year. Spoiler alert. They try to address the O-line in the portal. I don't think that'll make a big difference. They, like you said, they lost 2 of they lost their top 2 receivers basically in the portal. That's always a bad sign right there. You know what I mean? Like you lose your top 2 receivers in the portal. That's not a good thing. And then their quarterback, Zach, like he came from the FCS. Now he was with Texas A&M in the SEC 2 years ago. But, you know what I mean, competition is different in the FCS, you know what I mean, than the FCS and the SEC. Like it's totally different. And I mean, spoiler alert, man. I got them being really pretty bad.
I ain't gonna spoil what I got, but what I would say is this: your sentiments about Zach Calzada are mine exactly, and I don't want to hear, "Oh, Cam Ward went to Infinite Word, and then he went to Washington State, and he went to Miami. He's number one." I don't care. No, bruh. Zach Calzada is not that good in my opinion. And Kentucky, like I said, recruits a type of quarterback I just don't like. These weren't recruits. These were these were recruits. Devin Leary wasn't. He was a transfer. But from Will Levis to Devin Leary to Gavin Wimsey, these are all guys I was never high on. But Mark Stoops, for whatever reason, chose these guys. But you know what they had? They had running backs. Will Levis had Chris Rodriguez, like that, average 6 yards a carry. Could not. He would always fall forward. Can't bring him down. And Devin Leary, he had Ray Davis. So when he had his good year, it was attributed to Ray Davis. There's no running back, in my opinion, of those calibers. You'll say, yeah, they brought in Dante Dowdle from Nebraska. He's not Ray Davis or Chris Rodriguez. He's solid, but those were really good backs. So Kentucky, Mark Stoops, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Shout out to Drew the Longhorn, though. We ain't get to Texas yet. Texas is a little way down the road. But your profile picture is funny. And then another transfer they got is Cam Oates, who came from Kent State, had 6 sacks. I'm just interested to see what Kentucky's going to do. I'm interested to see the identity of Kentucky. Are they going to run the ball? Are they going to be balanced? Are they going to be pass heavy? I'm interested to see Zach Calzada, man. I don't think he's going to do well in the SEC, which is why he got up out the SEC. But hey, we'll see.
That was a bar.
We'll see. 114th in total offense, 44th in total defense, 112th in passing, 81st in rushing, 119th in scoring offense, 21st in passing defense, 86th in rushing defense, 33rd in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can get into the schedule.
Let's get it.
So first game of the season is against Toledo. I have as a win.
Carl, I was so close on picking this as an L. But I picked W though.
I kind of don't blame you. The only thing with me at Toledo is I don't know how do I say this? I don't know how well they'll do against the SEC defense. Like you could say it's Kentucky all you want, it's still an SEC defense.
And they are home first game of the season.
Yeah. Now they play Ole Miss next game of the season, and last year was insane. I blame last year them losing against Ole Miss to me having a parlay, and I think that was like my one leg that lost. They're not losing to Ole Miss this year.
No. Blowout. Hell.
Next game. It's just Jackson Dart just didn't look like himself. He kept throwing picks in the red zone, not capitalizing drives. And I think Kentucky got like some crazy play before the half to like give more points. It was one of those games where you can't complain. Yeah. Next game in Eastern Michigan. It's a win.
Same.
Next game at South Carolina, that was a loss.
Loss.
At Georgia, loss.
Loss.
At home against Texas, loss.
L.
Tennessee, loss.
L.
At Auburn, loss.
L.
At home against Florida, loss.
L.
Win against Tennessee Tech.
Same.
Then loss at Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
And then loss in a huge rivalry game at Louisville.
Same.
Kentucky,
so we got
3-9, 0-8 in conference.
Same. 3-9, 0-8. Terrible.
Yeah, that's the under 4.5 win total.
Yeah. So you Coach getting fired?
Nah, I don't think they fired Mark Stoops.
Okay.
I think Kentucky actually really likes Mark Stoops, but maybe some of the talk changes. He has something in his contract to like if he wins like I think 7 to 8 games, he gets like a bonus every year, and it goes up the more wins he get in the season.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, because Kentucky's not a football school; they're a basketball school.
Yeah.
So if he can have a competent football team or like a really good product to put on the field, they like reward him for it. So
yeah,
I do love that. Next, we got who some believe will win the SEC, LSU. Am I part of the some? Stay tuned to find out. LSU is coming off a 9-4, 5-3 season where they won the Texas Bowl against a very hot Baylor team, 44-31. They returned 7 starters, 4 on offense, 3 on defense. Namely, Heisman candidate Garrett Nussmeier, Quarterback who had 337, who went 337 to 525, 64.2% completion percentage, 4,052 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Caden Durham, a running back, 140 carries, 753 yards, 5.4 carry, and 6 touchdowns going into his sophomore season. Aaron Anderson, a receiver who has 61 catches, 884 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Whit Weeks is back. Man, that man is dominant at linebacker. He just always has a sense around the football. 120 total tackles, 61 solos, 3.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, an interception, and 2 forced fumbles. Ashton Stamps, a cornerback, 50 total tackles, 30 solos, 12 pass breakups. Jordan Gilbert, a safety who had 52 total tackles, 28 solos, half a sack, 2 pass breakups, an interception, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. But they lose. They lose a ton. They lost Kyron Lacey, rest in peace, wide receiver, who was definitely going to get drafted. 58 catches, 866 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Mason Taylor, tight end, who plays for the Jets. 55 catches, 546 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think his dad played for the Jets. Didn't Jason Taylor play for the Jets like at the back end of his career? I want to say he did.
That'd be crazy though.
Yeah, I think his dad did play for the Jets at the back end. They lose CJ Daniels, who transfers to the U, 42 total catches, 480 yards. Just didn't really find his footing at LSU. Greg Penn III, linebacker, 84 total tackles, 42 solos, a sack and a half, and 2 forced fumbles. Braden Swenson, an edge rusher, currently on the Pats, 59 total tackles, 31 solos, 8.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. Major Burns, safety, currently on the Bears, 49 total tackles, 19 solos, a sack and a half, 2 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. Savion Johnson, edge rusher, Savion Jones, currently on the Broncos, 40 total tackles, 19 solos, 4.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery, Zai Alexander, who he came into the season, I thought he was really good, but he's currently not on the NFL roster. 33 total tackles, 20 solos, a sack, 3 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. 7th overall recruiting class, but 1st in transfers. Talk to me about LSU, Joe.
Woo. All right. First time under 10 losses under Brian Kelly. So they're looking to bounce back also. They did lose high power offense.
Whit Weeks is back.
Yeah, high power offense. I mean, Garrett Newsmeyer, like he has an opportunity to be a Heisman. Newsmeyer, has an opportunity to be definitely a Heisman Trophy candidate, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. But what worries me about them, they lost 45 starters on the O-line, including Will Campbell. Who's looking pretty good, by the way, and with the Patriots, I must say. Shout out to the Patriots. Shout out to Teddy and Tony and Jovan. But yeah, so that kind of worries me because Garrett, he's not Newsmeyer is not like a Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to be mobile in the pocket, or who's going to be scrambled. Like, he's more of a drop back QB. And if the protection is not good, that can be a problem. And I do think they need to use Caden Durham more. I feel like when I go back and look at the games they won, a lot of times because they had a more balanced offense. But when they just drop back, it could be problematic for LSU. And another thing that worries me is the defense. I mean, I was with LSU. like you never know especially on the Brian Kelly, like LSU, man, it's just a bunch of shootout. So and that's why I think Newsmeyer has an opportunity to be a Heisman Trophy winner because he will be throwing the ball a lot. But we'll see when we get to the schedule how they will look.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up the defense because I know it grinds Brian Kelly gears that defensively you have all this talent. Now, Harold Perkins, he's back. Harold Perkins, I think he got hurt last season. He decided to come for his last year at LSU. So that's huge to have him moving. I don't think they should move him around. I think they should keep him on the edge. That's where he thrived at the most. But that's a huge part of the defense. They just got to find ways to be consistent. They have the speed. They have the talent defensively. It's just, I don't know. They just don't put it together for whatever reason. Now, to piggyback off your Caden Durham point, I think you're 100% correct. But the thing with Caden Durham was they didn't find out he was the guy until like midway through the season. They were trying to figure out who the guy was at running back for the better part of the beginning of the season. They just didn't figure it out. And then Caden Durham, he kind of like slowly burst on. I think he had a good game against South Carolina, if I'm not correct. If I'm not mistaken.
When they came back on y'all.
BS, by the way, that was clear pick six by Nick Emery. Legit, that was the game that cost us the playoffs. But I digress. But yeah, he had a big game against South Carolina, and like they slowly started turning to him to be the guy, and now that's his job officially. Which congrats and well deserved to him.
Mhm.
Garrett Nussmeier, he is a drop back guy, but here's the thing: while you do have competent worries about the O line, he has so much speed at receiver. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
From Marion Brown to transfer to Aaron Anderson coming back to Xavier Thomas. It's just so much speed at receiver for them guys. If they just get the boys the ball in the open space, just look out. Now they do bring some transfers over, namely Patrick Payton, who to me did not have that great of a year at Florida State, but he's looking to bounce back at LSU. To me, he should be paired with Harold Perkins on the opposite side of each other. AJ Halsey, the safety from Houston, that's a big pickup there. And Mansour Delaney from Virginia Tech, who was opposite of Dorian Strong last year at Virginia Tech, who were very solid in pass coverage. So those are three big pickups on the defensive end. And they bring in Nick Anderson from Oklahoma as well, who last year he got hurt, but in 2023 he had 38 catches for 798 yards and 10 touchdowns, bringing much needed, well, not much needed, but much more production to that receiving core. So I think those are big transfer pickups for LSU. They were 25th in total offense, 61st in total defense, 7th in passing, 107th in rushing, tied 47th in scoring offense, 76th in passing defense, 51st in rushing defense, 59th in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can talk about the schedule.
Let's get it.
First game of the season, big game. Battle of the real Death Valley versus the real Death Valley. It's at Clemson. I had this as a loss.
Yeah, this is a big test for LSU with the Clemson's front line on defense. Woo. That's going to be a big test to see, like, okay, where will LSU? Now, I'm not saying this game going to tell the NLB all, but okay, how good are they? And I got this as a loss.
Good litmus test for sure.
Yeah.
Also, high Heisman candidate implications because Cade Klubnik on the other end is a Heisman candidate.
Yep.
So whoever wins this game gets a huge lead on the Heisman. So next, against Louisiana Tech, I have as a win.
Same. Against
Florida, a win.
Hold on.
Yeah, I know. I just thought about that myself. Did I mess this up? No, I
have lost my paper, but I thought I had Florida winning. Hold on.
I got LSU winning. Okay, I had to make sure.
I got lost on here. Oh snap! Hold up. I think I messed up. Okay. I have LSU winning this. I wrote lost on LSU.
So we agree. Okay.
So yeah.
Let me know when you back.
Oh snap! Okay, this kind of throw me off a little bit. Okay,
man, it'd be tough to try to like go back and make sure you.
Okay, yeah. I got the next one's a W though.
Yeah, Southeast Louisiana. Yep, I was a win too. Now this one again, I scratched. I had at Ole Miss. I gave the win to LSU. At Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, I gave the win. Yep, W.
Yep, I had a loss at first, but I changed it to a win. Next, against South Carolina at home, we get our revenge. Damn it! I
got this as a W.
I know it's tough to go in LSU and win, but man, we're gonna have so much revenge in our eyes. Dylan Stewart, I think he's gonna eat this game because, like you said, they gotta retool that O-line. Dylan Stewart, as a possible, I'm pretty sure he's coming in as a defensive player of the year candidate for the SEC, but. Going with South Carolina. Next, at Vanderbilt, I got to win.
Me too.
Next, at home against Texas A&M, give me a win.
I have a win too.
Next is at Alabama. I have as a loss.
Same.
Next is at home against Arkansas. I have as a win.
Same.
Next is at home against Western Kentucky. I have a win.
Same.
And then next, at Oklahoma and Norman, final game of the season, I have as a win.
Same.
So I have LSU going 9-3, 6-2.
Yeah, I had 10-2, 7-1.
Yeah, we differ on the South Carolina game. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
I think we get revenge. We should have won that game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I should have though.
And then Lenore Salas got hurt that game too. Robbie Ashford had to finish. Oh my god. Yeah, the Vandy game was oddly enough. I had the Vandy game as a loss, and I actually had them going 8-4, 5-3. But I went back. I was like, nah, I think they beat Vandy. And that's cool.
Were you high on Vandy last year before the season?
I was not.
Oh, okay. I think as the season went on, though, when you was making your picks,
I still wasn't even high on Vandy. I'm high on Diego Pavia. That's what it is.
yeah.
Pavia
Okay.
is that guy, and I don't think he's going to get an NFL shot. And we can talk about that when we get to Vandy, but I think he deserves one.
All right.
We'll move on to. Oh, by the way, I have the over 8.5 win total.
I
Joe
do
does as
too.
well. I have 9 wins. He has 10. So I do not have spoiler. I don't have LSU as a SEC champion. They don't make it. Uh, shout
Spoiler.
out, shout out the tent. He says Sko Ducks. So you must be an Oregon fan. You missed the Big Ten preview, but if you go on my channel, please subscribe. If you go on my channel, it's up there. I have it individualized. Shout out my boy Joe. It's individualized up there for you. But if you want to listen to the whole Big Ten, it's also up there for you as well. But I
Let's get
appreciate
it.
you tuning in. Next we have Mississippi State. Mississippi State, man. Jeff Levy. Tough first season. Went winless in the SEC. Went 2-10 and out of conference. Won 2 games at the SEC school. Oh, how
Yeah.
the mighty have fallen. Maybe it was Will Rogers at Mississippi State. That's why they were pretty good. The Will Rogers, the Dak Prescotts, they're just sick for their alma mater. Me, on the other hand, I can care less. But hey, they returned 11 starters, 6 on offense, 5 on defense. They returned Davon Booth, a running back with 152 carries, 759 yards, 5 a carry, and 5 touchdowns. Jordan Mosley, receiver, had 23 catches, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Seydou Traore, a tight end with 34 catches, 361 yards, and a touchdown. Isaac Smith, a safety, had 127 total tackles, 46 solos, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Nick Mitchell, a linebacker, 80 total tackles, 24 solos, 2 pass breakups, and a pick. Brandon Jennings, a linebacker who had 56 total tackles, 10 solos, a sack and a half, and 2 pass breakups. Hunter Washington, a safety who had 55 total tackles, 26 solos, 2 pass breakups, and interception, forced fumble recovery. And Braylon Lanier, a safety who had 53 total tackles, 35 solos, and a pick. Now, they do lose Michael Van Buren, their quarterback, 140 at 256, 54.7 completion percentage, 1,886 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He transferred to LSU for whatever reason, but hey, good luck to you there. Kevin Coleman, junior receiver at 74 total tackles, 74 catches. Why did I just say that? 932 yards, 6 touchdowns. He transferred to Mizzou. They lost my boy, man. He came from UTEP. Didn't enjoy much success at either school. Kelly Akari, wide receiver at 25 catches, 391 yards, and 2 touchdowns as a Cardinal. Now currently on the Cardinals. He didn't. And when I say success, I mean wins. They didn't win much at UTEP when he was there. They didn't win anything for Mississippi State when he was there. I feel bad for my dog. And they lose Stone Blanton, linebacker currently on the 49ers, 124 tackles, 29 solos, half a sack, 3 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery. Bryce Pollock, a DB that transferred to Texas Tech, 48 total tackles, 24 solos, 7 pass breakups, interception, and forced fumble. And Corey Ellington, a DB who had 53 total tackles, 28 solos, 3 pass breakups, and 3 forced fumbles. Had the 31st overall recruiting class and 18th for transfers. Talk to me about Mississippi State, Joe.
Man, 2-10 record last year. That's the worst record in 36 years, which is crazy. They quarterback Blake, he's RPO quarterback, former Baylor player. But I feel like at times he could be pretty good, but under pressure he's terrible. He has issues. And once again, the defense. They had the worst defense last year in the SEC. They allowed 456 yards a game. That's crazy.
Yep, 125th in total defense.
That's crazy. So, I mean, how much better did they get? You know what I mean? So, I'm not, Mississippi State, Miami, and Kentucky. Let me just say that.
The bad version of Kentucky, because it was some good days there. But this is what I say about Mississippi State, right? Quarterback play is everything, and they didn't have it. Blake Shapen, right? You talked about him at Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
He played with Kyron Drones at Baylor. No, I'm not a fan of Kyron Drones. Wasn't a fan of Blake Shapen either. So there's that. Like you said, defensively, it was just horrible. They had some pieces defensively, but as a unit, it was pretty bad. They did kind of, try to fight for the Egg Bowl. They put up a really good fight against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, came up short, but overall, it's just Jeff Lebby got his hands full, and I don't know if he's equipped to turn this program around. It's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and they already don't get the cream of the crop in the SEC. And again, you gotta play everybody. Like I look at I know we ain't get to the schedule yet, but I look.
Woo.
Tennessee, they play Texas A&M, they play Florida, they play Texas, they play Mizzou, they play Georgia, Ole Miss, like Ole Miss every year because of the Egg Bowl. Like this schedule is brutal,
And they
and I
play
know
Arizona
they
State.
have talent. Yeah, and that's out of conference. That was a home-to-home schedule of Arizona State, and Arizona State is now good. Like then they scheduled it, they weren't. Now they just won the Big 12. They're the Big 12 defending champs. So how much bad luck do you have? They do bring in 2 receiver transfers. They bring in Cam Thompson from Northern Illinois, who I liked. He didn't have much. He didn't have great quarterback play at Northern Illinois. Not gonna have it at Mississippi State. And they bring in Jerron Glover from Michigan State, and I wish him the best. He just kind of got phased out of a pretty good receiving room. Jerron Glover had 192 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. Cam Thompson had 391 yards and 3 touchdowns. And they bring over Fluff Bothwell. This is one of the best transfers I like for Mississippi State. The running back from South Alabama, Gio Lopez left. The OC left and went to Wake Forest. So Fluff Bothwell, he left to Mississippi State. He had 111 carries, 832 yards, 7.5 a carry, 13 touchdowns at South Alabama. Now, like I said, these statistics for Mississippi State, like you brought up, terrible. 78 for total offense, 125th in total defense, 50th in passing, 87th in rushing, 86th in scoring offense, 104th in passing defense, 129th in rushing defense, and 117th in scoring defense. Mind you, this is out of 100 and I think 35 schools, so pretty terrible. But if you're ready, we can get into the schedule.
Let's get it, man. That's terrible.
First game of the season at Southern Miss, and I ain't gonna lie, I have it as a win. But
okay.
Man, I was thinking about it a little bit. I was like, man, Charles Huff. I mean, the Sun Belt, it don't compare to the SEC, but he won the Sun Belt championship with a lot of these players now. This ain't the same old Southern Miss, but I gave a win to Mississippi State.
I got a win too.
Next game, Arizona State at home, loss.
Same, loss.
Next game, Alcorn State, win.
Win.
All right, so we got a question right here.
Okay, we here.
How good is Northern Illinois? Northern Illinois is a decent MAC school. They were good a couple years ago. They won the MAC championship with Rocky Lombardi. Northern Illinois did beat Notre Dame last season. So they have the ability to upset you. And he asked that question because the next game is Northern Illinois. But I do have Mississippi State winning that game. I do think Notre Dame just had one of them off games, just like Ole Miss, Kentucky. And they let a team hang around, and they ended up losing. Like Notre Dame, that game didn't defy Notre Dame. That was just more so upsets in college football. So I do have Mississippi State being Northern Illinois.
Same.
All right, and then he said, "Isn't Southern Miss scary sometimes?" Yeah, 2 games for State. Nah, so Southern Mississippi actually has been pretty bad these past couple of years. But Charles Huff comes over, brings basically all of his Marshall players with him, so that's why they might be decent. And spoiler alert, they are one of my 10 teams to look out for in the Group of 5 conference, which will be tomorrow. Shout out to you, Jack Burton. Thanks for watching and asking questions. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the show. Next, we have Tennessee at home. I have as a loss. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I'm not even about to do all that. They lose out. They lose to Tennessee at home, at Texas A&M, at Florida, at home against Texas, at Arkansas, at home against Georgia, on the road against Mizzou, and Ole Miss. They are all L's in my opinion.
Same.
So they go 3-9 and 0-8 yet again. Jeff Levy gets fired after this. It's no way you go winless in the SEC 2 years and they keep you. I think Levy is gone.
Yeah, 3-9.
And I think he only signed a 3-year contract too, so they will only burn 1 year. Yeah,
1 year.
Yeah, they'll buy him out in a heartbeat if he goes winless in the SEC.
I mean, it's an upgrade from last year, but
is it really?
I mean, it's 2-10.
Is it really though?
But like I said, last year was the worst record in 36 years. That's it's not good.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry, Jeff. I watched the Any Given Saturday doc, and I like your personality. You cool guy, but I don't know if this might have been too tall of a task. But we'll move on to Missouri. The alpha nerd, Eli Drinkowitz, coming off, like I said, back-to-back 10-win seasons at Missouri. But Brady Cook is now gone. Theo Weiss is now gone. Luther Burden is now gone.
Luther Burden.
How well will Mizzou be They returned 13 starters, 5 on offense, 8 on defense. They returned Brett Norfleet, the tight end, 26 catches, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Johnson at receiver, 25 catches, 352 yards, and a touchdown. Tristan Newsom at linebacker, 71 total tackles, 39 solos, a sack, pass breakup, and forced fumble. Marvin Burks, Jr., safety, 66 total tackles, 34 solos, 2 pass breakups, and interception. Dylan Carnell, safety, 51 total tackles, 28 solos, 6 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery, and a scoop and score touchdown. Zion Young, 41 total tackles, 14 solos, 2.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, a fumble recovery, forced fumble, and a scoop and score touchdown. Chris McClellan, D tackle, 39 total tackles, 10 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Dre Norwood, a cornerback, 35 total tackles, 21 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And Torino Pride, a cornerback, 22 total tackles, 17 solos, 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, touchdown, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. I do like Torino Pride, just side note. They do lose, like I said, Brady Cook, who had 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I do think he was battling some injuries last year. He's currently on the Jets. Nate Noel, a running back, who had 163 carries, 818 yards, 5 a carry, and 3 touchdowns, currently on the Colts. Not to mention they do lose Marcus Carroll from Georgia Tech the year, not Georgia Tech, Georgia State before he went to Mizzou. I did like the fact that they had 2 group of 5 running backs in that backfield. I felt good about that for some reason. They do lose Luther Burden, 676 yards, 61 catches, 6 touchdowns on the Bears. Theo Weiss Jr., who actually led them in receiving yards with 884 yards on 60 carries, 4 touchdowns, currently on the Dolphins. Corey Flagg Jr., a linebacker, 81 total tackles, 37 solos, a sack, interception, and fumble recovery. They lost Johnny Walker Jr., an edge rusher, currently on the Broncos, 43 total tackles, 19 solos, 9.5 sacks, a pass breakup, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. They were 14th overall recruiting class, 7th for transfers. Talk to me about Mizzou.
Okay. Mizzou, 10 plus wins, finished top 25, 2 years straight. It's the first time they did that in 10 years. So that's good. Like they're building a consistent program of winning. And I think that would almost kind of carry over this year. At first, when I was doing the scheduling, I was super high on them. You know what I mean? I had, this is another team that can be sneaky this year in the SEC. I feel like Ahmad Hardy will be really good this year. I feel like their running game it's really good. I feel like they're a well-balanced team as far as offense and defense. Like I said, I think that Missouri can be a sneaky team in the SEC. Very underrated in my opinion.
I ain't going to say nothing about how I feel like going to be this season. What I will say is I don't know how they're going to be running the ball this year. I think, one hand, I think they're going to be decent because Bo Bueller brings that extra door threat ability that Brady Cook did not really bring. On the other hand, though, I don't know how well Bo Bueller can throw the ball. So maybe he doesn't give that threat of being that good of a passer. So maybe teams load the box and make him beat them with their arm. So I'm really not too crazy on Mizzou's offense this year. I know they bring in Kevin Coleman from Mississippi State, which we talked about like last segment, which is a really good pickup there. But losing Luther Burden and Theo Weiss Jr. was already huge. You lose Cody Schrader from 2 years ago, who was the Bullsworth winner 2 years ago for the best walk-on. Guy who started off as a walk-on. That was 2 years prior. And they tried to replace him. And they did a good job of replacing that production with Carroll and Nate Noel. But now Carroll and Nate Noel are gone. So can they replace that production? Can Mizzou reload? That is also a question Missouri has to count to answer. And I think they'll be pretty decent defensively, maybe even pretty good defensively. But offensively, I got so many questions.
How you feel about Ahmad Hardy?
I don't know.
1,300 yards last year.
I know. But I don't know. Because, again, I don't know how Bueller how much of a threat he really is going to be throwing the football. And I don't know how well, besides Kevin Coleman and possibly Marquise Johnson, I don't know how well these receivers are going to win. So he might be running against stacked boxes. I don't know.
I see you saying, yeah.
I can't call it. But I do like the Jaden Catalan addition from UNLV. I watched him play against Houston. He had a really good game against Houston. He had a pick 6 in that game. He had 5 interceptions on the season, 4 pass breakups, and a forced fumble, and 96 total tackles. So I do like that addition. They were 63rd in total offense, 17th in total defense, 71st in passing, 64th in rushing, tied 55th in scoring offense, 18th passing defense, 45th in rushing defense, 20th in scoring defense. Anything you want to add before we go to the schedule?
No, let's get it.
All right, first game, Central Arkansas win. Love the field though.
Win.
Next game, this is kind of a rivalry game against Kansas. Well, it is a rivalry game. It's like the battle for things like I don't know, but it is a rivalry game. They play like each other every year in basketball. I have them beating Kansas though.
Yeah, at home too. Yeah, give me.
Oh
Give
no,
me.
I'm thinking of Illinois. That they play each other in basketball. But yeah, I got it as a win.
Yeah, same.
Louisville. I said Louisville. Louisiana Lafayette. I have as a win.
Oh, I think okay. I got this. Oh, Lafayette. Yeah. I got the W.
First game in the SEC at home against South Carolina. I have as a loss.
I do too.
Funny enough, though, Mizzou is a team like growing up. They used to give me fits. I used to hate it actually. And I remember the year we should have went to the SEC championship game. We lost to I want to say it was Matty Mock at Mizzou, and that was the game that cost us a chance to plan for the SEC championship. Pissed me off. But next we play. They play UMass to win. UMass is like one of the worst teams in college football.
W.
Alabama lost
I have this as a W.
against Bama.
Hold on. I put this in a W right here. I had it.
I'm pretty sure you had.
Yeah, I did. I had. I think. Yeah, I do. Yep. I said it earlier. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I got this as a W. At home, yeah, I got this as a sneaky win on Alabama.
Okay.
I got that. Alabama's only loss though.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Next game at Auburn, I have as a loss.
I do too.
At Vandy, I actually have Vandy winning this. I have as a loss.
I have this as a loss too.
Okay. Next game at home against Texas A&M, but I still have it as a loss.
W.
Oh, you think they Texas A&M defense, man? We'll get into it later, but I think that defense gonna dominate that game. Next game, Mississippi State win.
Yeah, W.
Next game. This might tell you how I felt about Oklahoma, which is next. I had this as a win in Norman.
I had a feeling when you said about them earlier, but I got this as a loss.
I'm not mad at it, to be honest. I could go back and forth with this one. And in the last game against Arkansas, huge rivalry game, we talked about it. I have as a loss.
Okay, I got this as a W.
So I have Mizzou going 6-6, 2-6, taking the under 6.5 win total for Missouri.
I got them going 8-4, 4-4 in the conference.
Yeah, I think they have a big progression year. Mainly it's because I'm just too big of a question mark for me offensively.
Yeah, I mean you made some great points about the offense.
Yeah, so
you know, so I mean the passing game could look decent, then you could probably change your mind.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions I need answered early in the season for Missouri. Well, it's not going to be answered against Central Arkansas, I'll tell you that. But maybe Kansas. I don't even know if it's going to be answered against Kansas. Kansas lose so much. I talked about that on the Big 12. Next, though, we'll go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, man, oh man, they fired their offensive coordinator last season. Again, very unjustly fired their offensive coordinator. You can say whatever you want about the statistics. What am I supposed to do when my top receivers are hard? But they bring in an offensive coordinator from Washington State, which is actually a smart move because he comes over with John Mateer, who was his quarterback last year, who John Mateer had an amazing year last year. So smart move by Brett Venables. They're coming off a 6-7, 2-6 season where they lost the Armed Forces Bowl to Navy. Where they could not stop Navy's triple option. Like Navy, I think Navy had to go for a win, like a drive to win the game, and they busted a huge runoff break. So, or maybe it was to ice the game. Either way, they broke. It was a game seller. Yeah. But they returned 12 starters. Oklahoma does 6 on offense, 6 on defense. They returned Javonte Barnes, a running back with 122 carries, 577 yards, 4.7 a carry, 5 touchdowns. And they returned all 5 of their old linemen, which is huge for Oklahoma. They returned Kip Lewis, a linebacker who had 63 total tackles, 33 solos, a pass breakup, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Returned Robert Spears Jennings, a safety, had 66 total tackles, 43 solos, 2.5 sacks, pass breakup, interception, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. R. Mason Thomas, who I like a ton, he showed up big time in the game against Tennessee. Defensive lineman had 27 total tackles, 13 solos, 9 sacks, pass breakup, forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and a scoop and score touchdown. He actually showed up huge in the game against Tulane, too. He actually was one of the reasons they were able to escape that Tulane game. Returned Jaden Jackson, defensive lineman, 30 total tackles, 10 solos, 2 sacks, and a pass breakup. Dominic Williams, a defensive lineman who had 36 total tackles, 13 solos, a sack, and a forced fumble. Eli Bowen, a cornerback who had 29 total tackles, 23 solos, 4 pass breakups, and interception. Now, again, they lose Jackson Arnold. I already talked about him, who went to the Auburn. They lost my guy, Stutzman, Danny Stutzman, linebacker, who's currently on the Saints. 110 total tackles, 44 solos, and a sack. All he want to do is tackle. He don't want nothing else. No picks, no pass breakups, nothing. I'm just here to hit people. Billy Bowman Jr., another one of my guys. I hate he on the ops. He on the Bengals, but he's a safety. He had 55 total tackles, 34. No, he on the Falcons. I keep confusing him for some reason. 55 total tackles, 34 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and a scoop and score touchdown. Ethan Downs, the edge rusher currently on the Jags, 29 total tackles, 21 solos, 3 sacks, 2 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. 17th overall recruiting class, 12th in transfers. I know Oklahoma fans are going to kill me for this. Whatever. Talk to me about Oklahoma, Joe.
No, Oklahoma last year, one of the best defenses in the SEC, and they brought back 10 out of 11 starters. You know what I mean? So I thought, I mean, they had a really good defense. Defense was their stronghold last year.
They didn't bring back 10 starters. They lost. They lost Stutzman and Billy Bowman off the break.
Sorry. 10 of their, I'm going to say this. Sorry. 10 of their 11 starters were here last year. 10 of their 11 starters.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. The people that starting this year were there.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, sorry. They got one transfer from this year, one of the DNs. But
Junior from Florida State.
Yeah, but and then like you said, yeah, but by 5, all they starting offensive line is pretty huge, and they went and got a new quarterback. So and he had a last year.
He had a great year.
He's pretty good last year. You know, so that could change everything for Oklahoma if he's good this year. So we'll see. We'll see, basically.
The man can run. John Mateer, man, strong arm, can run the football tremendously, very dynamic. You bring over Jaden Ott, who's I've been raving about since his freshman year at Cal. Great running back. But defense loses a lot. Now, again, a lot of the guys are back, but Stutzman and Billy Bowman are 2 huge losses. R. Mason Thomas was a huge get, though. That's a huge keep. Marvin Jones Jr. came in super hyped up last year for Florida State, coming over from Georgia. Underperformed. Now he will be again alongside R. Mason Jr., which will be very big for him. But receiver core is really my question. I know they bring in Santanga from Arkansas. The receivers is my question. They got Deion Burks coming back, and I like Deion Burks from Purdue. But how will he fare in this new offense? I don't know. Is he able to stay healthy? I don't know. They lose so many receivers, even though, Nick Anderson, gone. Jalil Farouk went to Maryland. I think Andrew Anthony, gone. So even though you had 6 receivers gone last year, those guys, they're not coming back. You have to replace them. And I know Mateer didn't have that many guys at Washington State. He had, I think, Carlos. He had Kyle Williams and Chris Hudson. But that's 3 guys compared to Isaiah Santanga and Deion Burks. It's a little different. I don't know how well this Oklahoma offense will. I don't know how well Oklahoma's going to be, and then they have a tough schedule. They play a lot of teams that I'm high on. They play Ole Miss. I'm high on. They
got a tough stretch.
They have a tough schedule. There's no breaks in the schedule. Like their non-con isn't good, but that's SEC regular. Their conference schedule: LSU, Bama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Texas, Auburn. And if you want to throw in there, you can throw in there Mizzou. You higher on Mizzou than me, but their SEC schedule is tough. So I don't think the record will reflect, well, at least my record will reflect how good or how bad Oklahoma is. I think it will reflect how tough their schedule is.
And this is big for them too, because they went 6-7 last year, and they haven't had like the last 3 years they had 2 losing seasons, and before that they haven't had one since 1998. So it's a lot of pressure for them to have at least a winning record. You know what I mean?
Man, Brent Venables, he might be on the hot seat. He's definitely on the hot seat after my season, but So Oklahoma was 113th for total offense last year, 19th for total defense, 119th for passing, 76th in rushing, 96th in scoring. Offense, 43rd in passing defense, 24th in rushing defense, and 29th in scoring defense. If you're ready, we can get into the schedule.
Just kidding.
Illinois State, I have as a win.
I do too.
No bias. Michigan, I have as a win. The only reason why I have this as a win is one, because it's in Norman, and two, Michigan yet again has another quarterback controversy. One being a freshman, so this will probably be his biggest game ever, or Davis Warren or Mikey King. Give me Oklahoma.
I have Oklahoma too. I thought you was gonna put your I'm not saying you being biased, but I had a feeling gonna be like you're gonna be surprised. I got Michigan.
Nah, I got Oklahoma. It's because it's on the road for Michigan and that quarterback controversy. They didn't even name a starter yet, which is kind of scary to me. Next at Temple, I have as a win.
Same.
Then I have a loss at home against Auburn.
I got that as a W.
Yep. A win against Kent State. Kent State went 0-12 last year. I don't know what their schedule look like. I hope they don't go 0-12 this year. Kenny Burns is gone.
Yeah, I got that as a W.
Red River rivalry week 5 in Dallas. I have a loss.
Yeah, we know what happened last time we had our game. A loss.
Hey, for some reason though, Oklahoma right there because the Red River rivalry. They be right there.
I mean, last time we talked about the Red River rivalry.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Last year was a blowout.
It wasn't no rivalry. I mean,
yeah, 2 years ago.
That was last year though.
Yeah. Next game at South Carolina, loss.
I got it as a loss too.
Next game at home against Ole Miss, loss.
I do too.
Next game on the road against Tennessee, I have this as a win.
Okay, I do too.
Next game at Alabama, I have as a loss.
A loss.
Next game at home against Mizzou, I have as a loss. I think
I knew it. I was wondering because yeah, I got this as a W on Mizzou.
And the last game at home against LSU, I have as a loss.
I do too.
So I have Oklahoma going 5-7, 1-7.
Yeah. So,
but again, it's not, I don't think that is indicative of how bad Oklahoma is. I think it's just a tough SEC schedule. You're just not that good.
Yeah, I got 7-5, 3-5 conference play. I'm surprised you got them losing to Missouri. I thought you would pick them over Missouri, but I know you. So we differ from Missouri and Yeah, Missouri and Auburn.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I have that right. Yeah. Honestly, this is more of a. They would be 5-5 at the time, so there is motivation to win a bowl game. But I think Mizzou would also be that around that time. I don't know. That's just one of those toss-up games. I think I just went with a loss. I think it's a toss-up to me, and I just went with a loss. So that's definitely one of those I can switch back. But
even if you take that, still the under.
Yeah, I have the under either way, under 7.5.
Yeah, I got the over.
But they make a bowl game if I switch it, and if I switch it, they make a bowl game, and I think
Mizzou probably miss it.
Mizzou doesn't. They don't. If I change that, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it, but I am looking back. I probably should have switched that one, but I'm gonna leave it. That was my first guy. Shout out my boy Dave. Dang 1 a.m. y'all on. Yeah, we went on after Unfazed. I'm surprised you up. Shout out to you, my boy. He said Auburn out here claiming random championships. Yeah, I don't get how that works, but hey, it is what it is. They said that, I think King Dunlap said on the Raw Room podcast that, shout out to them, by the way, that they made rings for that 04 Auburn team, and in that ring they put national champs on it, even though they didn't play for Natty.
Oh my
because
God.
They felt like they got robbed. Which, I mean, y'all did go undefeated, but so did LSU and so did USC. But I don't know.
And so did Florida State the other year.
So yeah, but Florida State wasn't out here putting college football playoff champs.
They were crying though.
But I 100% agree with them crying, but they didn't put it on a ring that they were national champions.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. Shout out to you, though, Dave. So, next we got Ole Miss. You know me. Ole Miss got a special place in my heart. I'm not an Ole Miss fan, but I do like Lane Kiffin. And I tend to root for Ole Miss if they're not playing South Carolina. Like, I don't know why. It's just kind of been like that my whole life. Like, I'm not a fan, but I like support them. Like when they beat Bama with, I think it was Chad Kelly, I was like super pumped. And when they beat Bama again, I think with Bo Wallace, I was also hyped for that as well. So Ole Miss kind of got a special place in my heart. And then they took my boy Jackson Dart from USC, gave him a chance to start because he should have been starting at USC. USC tripping,
Yeah, that
and
was your boy.
he balled. So, but Ole Miss is coming off a 10-3, 5-3 season where they won the Gator Bowl handily against Duke, 52-20. They returned 5 starters, 3 on offense, 2 on defense, which is the least in the SEC. They returned Caden Lee, a receiver with 57 catches for 874 yards and 2 touchdowns. He actually stepped up big when touchdown Trey Harris and Juice Wells got hurt last year. And they returned Daquan Wright, a tight end who had 27 catches, 394 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They returned TJ Dottery, a linebacker who had 76 total tackles, 42 solos, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And Sandarin Perkins, a linebacker who had 60 total tackles, 32 solos, 10.5 sacks, a pick, and 2 forced fumbles. So 2 fumble recoveries. Now, they lost a lot. Again, they lost Jackson Dart, who went to the league, first-round pick, who had 4,279 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, and 3 rushing touchdowns on top of that on the Giants. They lose Henry Parrish, a running back who had 124 carries, 678 yards, 5.2 a carry, and 10 touchdowns. I do think they bring back Ulysses Bentley. I think it's gone too. They lost Trey Harris, touchdown Trey, 60 catches, 1,030 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the Chargers. Jordan Watkins on the 49ers, 906 yards and 9 touchdowns with 49 catches. Caden Prieskorn, a tight end with 27 catches for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns on the Broncos. Chris Paul Jr., a linebacker currently on the Rams with 86 total tackles, 48 solos, 3.5 sacks, 4 pass breakers, and interception and fumble recovery. Your boy, Trey Amos, cornerback on the Commanders, 50 total tackles, 39 solos, 13 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Walter Nolan of the Cardinals, D tackle, 48 total tackles, 26 solos, 6.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries. Trey Washington, now on the Colts, safety, 76 total tackles, 42 solos, 2 sacks, pass breakup, forced fumble, fumble recovery. Princely, and I always struggle to say this name, Minilin, edge rusher currently on the Raiders, who had 37 total tackles, 19 solos, 10.5 sacks. No, he's on the Panthers, forced fumble, fumble recovery, and a fumble, scoop and score touchdown. And J.J. Puigs, man, I'm going to miss him at Ole Miss because he was a big boy on the defensive line who they would put at Wildcat quarterback and have him just run up the gut for 4th and short, 3rd and short situations, goal line situations. They put him right in that Wildcat and let that boy move. He had 42 total tackles, 18 solos, 3.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, and 7 rushing touchdowns for Ole Miss. Again, mind you, this is a big D tackle. He is currently on the Raiders. They were 16th overall in recruiting class, 4th in transfers. Talk to me about Ole Miss.
So, Ole Miss, 21 wins last 2 seasons, most in the 2-year span. But their offense, man, it's going to be fun to watch. I do got to say that. I think Austin Simmons has a huge opportunity to have a good year this year. Statistically, I would say. Because he got a lot of weapons. I mean, I look at the receiving core, Stribling, Wallace, Odom, all good. I think it's the tight ends, both of the tight ends, right? You got Daquan Wright and you got Luke to transfer.
Luke Haas.
So, what worries me is the defense. Like you said, they lost a lot defensively, especially in the draft. They lost 5 people on defense that got drafted this year. 5 people.
North Carolina.
But 7 out of the 10 starters are transfers. So let's see how they replace that. But Ole Miss, man, I'm high on Ole Miss. Let me say that.
Yeah, so Lane Kiffin is just an offensive mastermind. So I do trust that he'll have his offense flowing. Austin Simmons had moments when he had to come into the game again, i.e. Georgia. I think he led a touchdown drive or a field goal drive again in the Georgia game when Jackson Dart went out. So he's had moments. It's just now, can he have a season, which we don't know. So I'm interested to see that. Defensively, like you said, they lost a ton, like I said earlier. Mainly Chris Paul Jr. and Trey Amos. I mean, Walter Nolan, too, was a big piece. But some transfers they brought in. Damian Taylor from Troy. I love me some group of 5 players. And he's a definitely speedster. He had 173 carries, 1,010 yards, 5.8 a carry, and 7 touchdowns. Trey Wallace, like you said, from Penn State. A lot of people have said that. Why am I blanking on his name? The quarterback for Penn State currently. Why am I blanking on his name? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of the quarterback. Right, Drew Aller. A lot of people would say that Drew Aller would have more success if he had better receivers. I don't think Trey Wallace was a part of that conversation, in my opinion. So I think this is a huge get for Ole Miss.
Mm.
And you pair that with the dude. You just said his daggone name, and I forgot that fast,
Well,
bro.
receiver, Caleb Odom.
Yeah, but it was a different one. No, Deshaun Stribling from Oklahoma State.
Dribbling, yeah.
Deshaun Stribling. You pair him with Deshaun Stribling from Oklahoma State. I think that's going to be really good. Prince Will Emmanuel, who is the brother of Princely. Let's see if he can come and step in his brother's shadow and just produce. He came from Nebraska where he had half a sack, so he's definitely going to have to step that up. But I'm interested to see him following his brother. And Jordan Yates coming over from Marshall, who won the Sun Belt. A linebacker at 115 total tackles, 2 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles. Also had half a sack. So I do like those transfer pieces there. And plus, I just think Ole Miss is just one of those teams now under Lane Kiffin. They're always going to be right there, but they're just not going to make the championship game. Last year, they were second in total offense, 14th in total defense, second in passing, 44th in rushing, third in scoring offense, 86th in passing defense, second in rushing defense, and second in scoring defense. They were just a really good team last season. The Kentucky game, honestly, was just the worst slip up you can have. If they didn't have that slip up, they could have possibly made a push for the SEC championship game. But if you're ready to go with the schedule,
I do want to say before we go to schedule, before you get into the schedule, last year they were highly ranked. You know what I mean? I think they came in like 8th or 9th coming into the season. They were ranked very high.
I don't remember where they were. I do remember them being top 10. I just don't remember the exact number.
And it was high hopes for Ole Miss, and then they just underachieved. Like you said, like as far as like they were like deep playoff hosts for them last season, and they underachieved. So I think that would make an impact for this year.
Yeah, I think they would have made the playoffs if they don't lose that Kentucky game because they would have had 10 wins in the regular season. They probably don't put SMU in the playoffs. And I get SMU came back, almost won the ACC championship game. They don't care. If it's an SEC team that they deem is better with 10 wins, they'd have moved SMU right up out of
there. Losing it. That's on your resume. It's like
they got right up out of there. But we get to the schedule. First game of the season against Georgia State, I have as a win.
Same.
Next game, at Kentucky, they better not lose. I have as a win.
Yeah, W. Blowout.
At home against Arkansas, I have as a win.
W.
Next game, at home against Tulane, I have as a win. But for some reason, I feel like this is going to be a really good game.
I'll keep that in mind. W.
Next game, at home against LSU, I have as a loss.
I do too.
Next game, at home against Washington State, I have as a win.
I do too.
I think they lose too much from last year. Next game, on the road at Georgia, I have as a loss.
I know. I put this as a W for them.
Oh, you got the win against Georgia.
I had put Yeah, we went over Georgia, right?
Yeah, we did. And I got them winning out. I have them winning against Oklahoma on the road, winning against South Carolina at home, winning against Citadel, obviously, winning against Florida at home, and then winning at Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. You muted. You're still muted?
Oh, Mike is acting up.
You good now? I can hear you.
There you go. Yeah, I got them winning out also.
So I got Ole Miss being 10-2, 6-2.
I got 11-1, 7-1.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got them possibly making that SEC championship game. I'm interested now. Oh, my boy Lane Kiffin, man. Next, we got my team. My boys, South Carolina. Oh, by the way, we have the over 8.5 win total by a pretty large margin.
Yes.
My boys, man, coming off a 9-4 season, 5-3. We lost 3 brutal games. Bama, LSU. I can't even remember the last one. It's probably compartmentalizing. But anyway, they were brutal. Ole Miss was the last one. I think that was a blowout. Oh, yeah, it was because I wanted revenge. Juice Wells was talking trash. South Carolina don't got a quarterback. That's why I transferred out. And then they beat us by like 21. I was so hurt. I wanted us to win so badly. And the thing is, I like Juice Wells. Juice Wells against Georgia 2 years ago scored like one of our first touchdowns, but got hurt right after and didn't return. I think he tore his Achilles. He did something crazy. He was out for the season. But yeah, man, we're coming off a 9-4 season, 5-3, where we lost the Cheez It Bowl, just could not get a stop against Illinois to win that game, 21-17. We promoted Mike Shula in-house because our OC, Dowdo Loggins, left and went and took the Appalachian State head coaching job. So salute to you. Shout out. Hopefully y'all do well. But yeah, Mike Shula is now promoted in-house to OC. Interested to see how that works out. We returned 9 starters, 5 on offense, 4 on defense, namely, again, Lenore Sellers. Had a breakout season last year. 196 to 299, 65.6 completion percentage, 2,534 yards, 18 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, but 674 rushing touchdowns. 674 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, excuse me. Also a Heisman candidate. A lot of people saying he might be a number 1 overall pick. I say slow your roll. Next, we return Nick Harbor, receiver, 26 catches, 376 yards, and 3 touchdowns. DQ Smith, safety, 37 total tackles, 20 solos, 3 pass breakups, interception for his fumble. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Dylan Stewart, edge rusher, 23 total tackles, 17 solos, 6.5 sacks, a pass breakup, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. Judge Collier, cornerback, 28 total tackles, 23 solos, 8 pass breakups, and Jalen Kilgore, cornerback, 48 total tackles, 31 solos, 5 pass breakups, 5 interceptions. We lose a lot defensively. Offensively, we lose a little bit. And I know we only return 5 starters out of 6. I mean, we lose like our O-line and stuff, but
yeah,
we lose really offensively. We lost Josh Simon, who plays for the Falcons, 40 catches, 1,215 yards, 7 touchdowns, and Rocket Sanders, who's currently on the Chargers, but he didn't get drafted, which was crazy to me. 183 carries, 881 yards, 4.8 a carry, and 11 touchdowns. But we do a good job in replacing those guys. Defensively, but like I said, that's where we lost a ton. We lost Nick Amorori, one of the best safeties in the country last season. He's currently on the Seahawks. 88 total tackles, 57 solos, 2 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. Should have been 3 pick sixes, but I digress. Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker on the Bengals. We lost him. 82 total tackles, 57 solos, 2 sacks, pass breakup, interception, and 3 forced fumbles. Cal Kennard, who was the player of the year last year in the SEC. 28 total tackles, 20 solos, 11.5 sacks, a pass breakup, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries on the Chargers. TJ Sanders, the defensive tackle, 51 total tackles, 29 solos, 4 sacks, a pass breakup on the Bills. Debo Williams, currently on the Steelers. A linebacker at 63 total tackles, 39 solos, half a sack, a fumble recovery. O'Donnell Fortune, cornerback on the Giants. 47 total tackles, 41 solos, 3 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, a fumble, forced fumble. And Bam Martin Scott, a linebacker currently on the Panthers, 67 total tackles, 39 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. They are the 22nd overall recruiting, which shout out to Shane Beamer for that. And 15th in transfers, man. Beamer ball, baby. Let's go. Talk to me about South Carolina.
All right. So, South Carolina. All right. Now, I want you to elaborate more and go in more depth into this. All right.
Yes, sir.
I feel like y'all are top heavy.
I explain.
All right. So, like, y'all, so QB, Lenore Sellers.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Nick Harbor. Awesome.
Speedster. I'm still waiting on a breakout year, though. I ain't going to 87 yards ain't good enough.
6'5", 245 pounds.
And fast as
An Olympic runner.
Yeah.
He's
from here, by the way.
Oh, he is?
Glenarden.
He's from Glenarden. Okay, Glenarden. All right, yeah, I do have 3 new awesome linemen. And then defensively, you already said it, Dylan Stewart, you know what I mean? Like one of the top edge rushers in the country. So,
He's also from here.
But dang. Where you from?
He went to Friendship in DC.
Oh, he's from DC, yeah. Yeah. You know, but like what I'm hearing is that the depth is not as strong in South Carolina. But I don't know
about that.
What
position?
I mean, I'm talking about period.
I don't know about that. I mean, certain positions, yeah, because we lost so much. But like receiver, I think we're fine. We bring back so much at receiver. We bring back Jared Brown. We bring back Gage Laverdane, Nick Harbor. Tight end, I think we're decent there. Jordan Dingle is a big get from Kentucky. Maybe if you want to say along that D line, our depth is yet to be determined. I'm with you on that. I can agree with that. And then linebacker play, we got to see for sure at linebacker. But other than that, I think we're pretty fine.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's. I mean, you know, and there's just a lot of expectations on y'all too. I mean, obviously the over and under got y'all 7.5, but like, I know the South Carolina fan base is very high about South Carolina this year, and y'all have a. I know we went over. I forgot what team it was. Y'all schedule is tough.
Oh, I know. Well, actually, it could be tougher. We don't play Georgia. We don't play y'all.
You know, yeah.
It could be tougher.
That's true.
We don't play Auburn.
Oh yeah, you have very high Auburn.
Yeah, it could be worse.
You know what? Yeah, like I think early in your schedule is pretty good, but like, and y'all do play Oklahoma at home, so we'll get the schedule.
Yeah, so yeah, it could be worse. I do like the Brandon Cease transfer from NC State, cornerback with 5 pass breakups. Rasul Faison, I do like that from Utah State because we definitely needed to replace our running back, Rocket Sanders. I think that's a great job of replacing him. And I'm interested to see Damon Clowney, the cousin of Jadeveon Clowney, who is a South Carolina legend. I know I don't expect him to be Jadeveon Clowney. I don't expect him to be like an All-American number 1 overall pick. But I'm interested to see how well he plays at South Carolina, who apparently he's from Baltimore, which was kind of crazy seeing that. But I'm interested in him. He came from Louisville. We had 2 sacks at Louisville. Jordan Dingle, tight end, had a touchdown last year. Rasul Faison had 1,109 yards and 8 touchdowns at Utah State. So I think we did a pretty decent job in the transfer portal, replacing guys. And these other guys that, I don't got time to list them all. But I think Shane Beamer did a really good job with this roster. I think I know we have high expectations. I am one of the guys who now have high expectations. I didn't have these expectations last year because last year, I don't want to say I agreed with Juice Wells, but I was very questionable at quarterback with Juice Wells. And I was very questionable when we were in the mix for AJ Swan. Like when I was seeing reports like we really might go after AJ Swan, who was coming out of Vandy, I was like, oh, we might really be cooked at quarterback if we're going after him. But he ended up not coming to us. I think he ended up going I forgot where he ended up going. But Lenore Sellers, man, he's been our best quarterback to me since Connor Shaw. And if you're a South Carolina fan, that's a throwback name. So it's been well. Do I want to say Spencer Rattler?
I'm about to say that was your boy.
No, not really.
For real?
I told a lot of people, if Spencer Rattler would have went to Michigan State, I probably wouldn't have been as happy as he was when he went to South Carolina because, South Carolina, bro, they can't get a quarterback. Bro, we had Debo. We had, I think, H. Sanders was with Debo for 1 year. I can't remember his name. Brian Edwards. It was Brian Edwards and Debo, bro, but we didn't have a quarterback. I don't know if you remember Brian Edwards that played for the Raiders, but bro, we had so much talent at South Carolina, but we couldn't put it together with a quarterback. It used to make me so mad. So I will say that Spencer Rattler played better than I thought he would play, but going into that season, I wasn't yeah, we got Spencer Rattler. We're gonna be like this. His first year was very good. Second year, we didn't have a defense to support him at all. So, but yeah, let's get into this. Oh, I gotta get into these numbers. So last year we were 45th in total offense, 16th in total defense, 75th in passing, 35th in rushing, tied 47th in scoring offense, 44th in passing defense, 18th in rushing defense, and 12th in scoring defense. Now, if somebody comes in here and talks about Steven Garcia, bro, please leave me alone. All right. Schedule. First game of the season. Shane Beamer plays his dad's stomping. Well, how do I word this? His dad's a legendary Virginia Tech coach. That's who they play. But it's not at Virginia Tech or South Carolina. It's in Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A kickoff thing. Give me South Carolina in the win.
I got this as an L. Oh. I'm just playing, bro. I got a W. I don't want to see you.
I was about to say, I know. All right, next game. South Carolina State. I have as a win.
W.
Next game. At home against Vandy. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think we win.
I got a W too.
Next game on the road against Mizzou, win.
Oh, you said win. I got it as a win too.
Next game at home against Kentucky, win.
I got y'all starting off 4-0.
Shoot, that's 5.
1, 2, 3, 5-0. Sorry, y'all Kentucky, y'all 5-0.
Next game at LSU. I think you have this as a loss, but I think we get our revenge. Damn it.
First
Next
L.
game, at home against Oklahoma, that was a win.
I do too.
At home against Alabama, we get our revenge. Damn it, that's a win.
Oh yeah, you didn't figure. I got L. Oh, you high. Okay.
That's my only loss that Alabama had this year, this upcoming season.
Okay, I got L.
On the road at Ole Miss, we don't get our revenge. We lose.
I got L right there too.
On the road at Cal Field, we lose to Texas A&M.
What? Okay, I actually got y'all winning this game.
Cal Field, man, that's a tough place to play, and I think
Got
that
y'all winning
defense.
because I have y'all losing 3 of y'all last 4 going into that game.
Oh, you got us losing to Clemson?
Oh no! I said going into the Texas A&M game.
Oh, gotcha.
I got y'all losing LSU, Alabama, and Ole Miss.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I got us losing Texas A&M and Ole Miss, but then beating Coastal Carolina and then beating Clemson.
All right, I got y'all beating Coastal Carolina and losing to Clemson.
We win the battle of the Palmetto, man. I don't care. We gonna win the battle of the Palmetto. Don't you worry. We won the battle of the Palmetto last year and Death Valley at Clemson, and we gonna keep it in Columbia at Bryce Williams Stadium.
But Clemson don't you think their defense gonna be much better this year though?
I mean, I think they're gonna be. They had a really good defense last year. They got a lot of the guys coming back.
They arguably the best, right?
No. I mean, I would probably throw Texas A&M or Notre Dame in that conversation.
Notre Dame, yeah. But Clemson gonna be really good this year.
Texas A&M defense, bro, I think they're gonna be so good.
Yeah, you did mention that earlier.
And then Elko is such a defensive coach. But I think Clemson is going to be a really good team. I think they have national championships aspirations, but they don't win the battle of Palmetto. That's coming to South Carolina, and we go 10-2, 6-2.
10-2. Okay, Carl. 8-4, 5-3.
I ain't gonna lie, that might be more reasonable. But hey, I'm gonna go with my 10-2. We both think the over 7.5 win total. And we move on.
But a lot of people have y'all, from what I've been listening to, I listen to other college people, and a lot of people have y'all being like the most disappointing team.
I can see that.
It's because of the expectations, and so. But the expectation, I mean, the win total is 7.5. I mean, like, I feel like that's decent. That's a good win total.
8 out of 12 games. Not for my expectations though. Not after last season, from what I saw. And if Nick Harbor can finally, let me go back to this so I don't confuse myself. But if Nick Harbor can finally take the leap I'm looking for, we're going to be tough to stop. I do think that. And I think Lenore Sellers has so much room to grow, which is scary for me to say. So
yeah, man. If y'all go 10-2, I mean, he could be SEC player.
Yeah, he could. All right, next. Tennessee. That's not foreshadowing, by the way. But Tennessee.
Okay.
Coming off a 10-3, 6-2 season where they lost the college football playoffs in down bad fashion, coming out shirtless. We not scared of the cold. Big Ten this. You get blown out 42-17. It wasn't even close from the jump. And they had their receivers take turns with you, like Emeka Ibuka and Jeremiah Smith. It was bad. And yes, I'm gonna take my fun to clown y'all because I picked y'all to win. Damn it! I was like, this is the only upset, and y'all upset me. That's what I was talking about. They returned 10 starters, 3 on offense, 7 on defense. Did you hear the story behind Nico Iamaleava and Joey Aguilar? So this is technically everybody was saying like this is technically the first trade in college football.
Yeah. I'm tripping. Yeah, I did hear that. Yep. Yeah. So they basically swapped.
Yeah, Nico goes off to UCLA, and then Joey Aguilar comes in from UCLA to Tennessee.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so that is
crazy. It wasn't an actual trade, though. They
no.
just went, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like sending a trade, but it, in a sense, kind of was like a trade. Like, they were like, all right, we losing him, we can bring you over type deal. Like, yeah. It's kind of tough to explain, but it daggone there was a trade.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from the outside.
Yeah. So Chris Brazil returns. wide receiver who had 29 catches, 333 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I can't wait till we have a bigger role. He came from Tulane. I was super high on him. He's like a big jump ball receiver. I can't wait. Miles Kesselman, tight end who had 22 catches, 301 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Arion Carter returns the linebacker. They return a lot of their defense. Linebacker, 68 total tackles, 29 solos, 6 pass breakups, and interception. Jamal McCoy, 44 total tackles, 26 solos, 7 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Who I think they were saying last year was going to shut Jeremiah Smith down, and it didn't work out.
We know we did that part, but go ahead.
Jeremiah Tolander, linebacker, 43 total tackles, 20 solos, half a sack, pass breakup, and 3 fumble recoveries. Andre Trentine, linebacker, 37 total tackles, 20 solos, 3 pass breakups, interception. Dominic Bailey, defensive lineman, 25 total tackles, 10 solos, 2 sacks, 4 fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. And Ricky Gibson, the third cornerback, 32 total tackles, 25 solos, 3 pass breakups, and a 4 fumble. Now they lose Nico Ayamalava, quarterback, went 213 of 334, 63.8 completion percentage. Which I'm not going to lie, that completion percentage kind of surprised me. 2,616 yards, 19 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, but he had 358 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns, again at UCLA. To me, the heart and soul of this team, the best player of the team, yes, including James Pierce Jr., was Dylan Sampson, who they lost. Running back, 258 carries, 1,491 yards, 5.8 a carry, and 22 touchdowns currently on the Browns. The Browns running back room is like crazy. Like if you put them all on the collegiate team when they were in college, with Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson, that is insane. They lose Deontay Thornton, who went to the Raiders, 26 catches, 661 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Brew McCoy, 39 catches, 472 yards, and 2 touchdowns. James Pierce Jr. on the edge on the Falcons, 38 total tackles, 23 solos, 7.5 sacks, pass breakup, 4 fumble, and a fumble recovery. And Will Brooks, a defensive back, who had 59 total tackles, 35 solos, half a sack, 5 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, touchdown, and a forced fumble. They had the 11th overall recruiting class, 68th in transfers. Talk to me about Tennessee.
Yeah, so Tennessee, I feel like the defense would be good this year. A lot of guys came back, like you mentioned. But they got new QBs, SWAT QBs, but they lost the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. It was going to be a big drop off for real. They lost. They top 2 receivers. 2 of their top 3 receivers are gone. Right?
Gone to Rose White went to Florida State.
Yep, and also 4 starters on the O line are gone also.
Yep.
So right there, I feel like spoiler alert, they will take a dip from last year.
Oh yeah, me too. So my thing with Tennessee last year, they were just really good defensively, and Dylan Sampson was just out of this world running the ball.
Yes, he was.
Star Thomas, really good running back, started at New Mexico State with Diego Pavia, went to Duke last season. He had a pretty good year, 871 yards and 7 touchdowns at Duke, but he's not Dylan Sampson. And the running back position being a dip is what's really going to hurt Tennessee this year. Even the quarterback position, and I'm not even high on Nico. Like, I know Nico was in front of, I believe, he either finished in front of Arch Manning in that class or started in front of Arch Manning, but Arch Manning finished first in that class. He's a 5-star. Never was a fan of Nico. I think his decision making is poor, and he put Tennessee. And when Tennessee had to put the game in his hands, more than likely it was not good. They wanted to keep that game in Dylan Sampson's hands, and they did a pretty good job defensively of keeping that happening. The biggest game to me that showed me that Nico's decision making was bad was the Arkansas game and the Oklahoma game. Both were losses. Oh, he looked terrible against Oklahoma, but I think those are 2 big positions in Tennessee where it's going to be Josh Heupel is going. He's going to have some tough late nights. But like you said, defensively, I think they'll be pretty good. I think they'll be fine defensively. It's just Joey Aguilar. Can he make the right decisions? Can Chris Brazil step into the role I believe he can step into? And then they bring in a defensive lineman to help bolster that defense, and Josh Shell from Grand Valley State. I had to give him some love, man. D2. My cousin went to Grand Valley State, won like 3 natties at Grand Valley State. 35 total tackles, 2 sacks. So it's always good when Grand Valley gets some love. But I'm interested to see. I'm maybe interested to see what they do at receiver. Losing Brew McCoy, Deontay Thornton, and Squirrel White. I'm interested in what they do at receiver. They were 18th in total offense, 6th in total defense, 77th in passing, 9th in rushing, tied 12th in scoring offense, 29th in passing defense, 10th in rushing defense, 7th in scoring defense. If you're ready, we get into the schedule.
Let's get it.
All right. So they play Syracuse in Atlanta for Chick-fil-A. I have this as a win only because I don't know if Syracuse can reload. So we're gonna go Tennessee here.
Yeah, I got this W too. Shout out to
Next,
Chick-fil-A.
next East Tennessee State win.
W.
Next Georgia loss.
L.
Next UAB. Shout out to UAB bringing their football team back. Win though.
Win.
At Mississippi State win.
W. Who's not winning?
Next Arkansas. I have as a win. They get their revenge.
I had this a win too.
Next at Alabama. I have as a loss.
I do too. I think we'll be identical on this one. I have a loss too.
Possibly. At Kentucky, I have as a win.
I do too. I don't know. We might don't.
Oklahoma, I have as a loss.
I do too.
New Mexico State, I have as a win.
Yes.
I know what the turnaround game is going to be. I have them losing out. I have them losing at Florida because they can't win at Florida for some whatever reason. And I have them losing to Vandy in that rivalry game. I think Vandy finally gets Tennessee.
Huh? You have them losing the. Okay, I have them losing to Florida but beating Vandy.
Yeah, I have them losing to Vandy. I think Vandy gets them.
Okay, all right. So we both got the under.
Yep, I got them 7-5, 3-5. You got them 8-4, 4-4.
Yep.
All right, shout out to Texas Goku. He says if ours can be a little better than yours, especially with the deep ball, Texas win the national championship. Our defense is gonna be great.
I mean, you were on time, big dog.
He on time because y'all are next a national championship. However, he is not on time with because that show don't come out till Thursday. So,
oh yeah.
But shout out to you watching, and I think y'all are going to be good as we move on to Texas. So, what we had Texas Goku in the chat, and hopefully,
oh yeah, Drew
the Longhorn. Hopefully, you're tuned in. Texas last season coming off a 13-3 season where they went 7-1 in the SEC play. One Big 12 school actually did good in the SEC. They lost the SEC championship game to Georgia 22-19 in overtime. They lost the college football semifinals to Iowa State. Oh my God, Ohio State.
Ohio.
Jesus, Ohio State, 28-14. Jack Sawyer saved Ohio State's behind because y'all were driving.
Mm-hmm.
He got that scoop and score. Well, he stripped it first.
That was crazy, bro.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer made a play.
2 years in a row, bro. We were like right there.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers had y'all right there. Y'all weren't technically at the goal line, but y'all were goal to goal, 4th and goal. Who'd I throw it up to? Was it a Donnie Mitchell or was it?
I forgot who it was.
Or was it Whittington?
But I think it was a catchable ball though.
It was. It just didn't execute. But
I remember. Yeah.
They returned 9 starters though. They returned 3 on offense, but 6 on defense. Your main starter on offense you returned is Quintravian Wisner, the running back, who had 226 carries, 1,064 yards, 4.7 a carry, and 5 touchdowns. Y'all returned DeAndre Moore, a receiver who had 39 catches, 456 yards, and 7 touchdowns. A lot of people are super high on him this year. The first 2 names I'm about to say are huge returners. Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, had 113 tackles, 59 solos, 8 sacks, pass breakup, an interception, 4 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. And Michael Taft, Michael Taft might be one of the best safeties in the SEC. 78 total tackles, 40 solos, 2 sacks, 10 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. It's funny, him and Arch Manning were the same number. So some people are like, what, Arch Manning plays defense? No, bro, it's college. They would. Some people going with the same number. Leona Lafu, a linebacker, had 63 total tackles, 38 solos, 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups, an interception, and forced fumble. Jalen Gilbo, a cornerback, 58 total tackles, 35 solos, sack, 3 pass breakups. Malik Muhammad, that's a big return for y'all as well. 36 total tackles, 32 solos, 8 pass breakups, and Trey Moore. Trey Moore, to me, I want to see a bigger year. Coming out of UTSA, I want to say he had like 16 sacks or something in that ballpark. He had 5 last year, but 5.5. But to be honest, he didn't flash as much as I wanted him to at Texas, and I'm hoping he takes a big step this coming season. I hope honestly, I want Dylan Stewart to win SEC Defensive Player of the Year. I hope he's in SEC Defensive Player of the Year conversations this coming season. He had 5.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 36 total tackles, and a pass breakup. Now you lose Quinn Ewers, currently on the Dolphins. That's a big loss. I mean, Arch Manning comes in to replace Quinn Ewers, but still Quinn Ewers, the veteran guy, the senior leg guy. This is still a big loss, even though you have a guy like Arch Manning coming in. He had 31 total tackles, 12 interceptions, 3,472 yards, and 65.8 completion percentage. You lose Matthew Golden, 58 catches, 987 yards, 9 touchdowns. For the Packers, you lose Gunnar Helm, your security blanket, 60 catches, 786 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the Titans. You lose Andrew Makuba, a very good safety tandem with him and Tav. 67 total tackles, 69 total, 41 solos, 6 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Sideline guy. Currently on the Eagles. Jahdae Barron, one of the best corners in the country last year. Currently on the Broncos, 67 total tackles, 46 solos, sack, 11 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. Barron Sorrell, who edge rusher who had 44 total tackles, 16 solos, 6 sacks, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. Currently on the Packers. You had the best recruiting class, number 1 recruiting class. Thank God Nick Saban is retired, or else he would have took a shot at Steve Sarkisian. And 23rd in transfers. Talk to me about Texas. This is your team.
So I'm very high on them once again. I mean, what matters to me, I'm at the point where, like, okay, when the playoffs gonna come around? You know what I mean? When is that SEC title gonna come around? We gotta win an SEC championship game. I think our head coach I think he did win it, right? What? Before he came to Texas. Our head coach, he won a conference championship? Or you not sure?
The last thing I remember about Steve Sarkisian before he came to Texas as a head coach was being drunk on the sidelines. Let me look this up.
I don't mean to laugh. That's messed up.
I mean, he's sober now. Shout out to him for that.
Yeah,
I'm being so serious. That was like he got fired and like
I remember. I know. Yeah, you always remind me about that when he tripping. Yeah. But I expect another big year from us, man. I like, as you know, I was a big Quinn Ewers fan. You know, like when as people like newly watched college football because of you. Basically, you told me to watch Jaden Daniels and Jordan Travis, and I was watching after that. And Quinn Ewers, he jumped off the screen to me, and that's how I became a Texas fan. But Archie Manning, man, he has talent. I know he has a small sample size from last year. He didn't look as good as Quinn Ewers, but he gives you that dual threat. And a lot of times when we, like against Georgia, he's a sitting duck in the pocket. He's not as mobile as an Archie Manning, so he's going to bring a different dynamic to the offense. Also, CJ Baxter, I'm looking forward to seeing him this year. I think he's going to have a good year. Wingo, I want to see Wingo also. Wingo flags across the screen last year. Among the good receiver corps we got defensively, I know you mentioned some of them. Anthony Hill Jr., Colin Simmons. I'm not sure you mentioned Colin Simmons?
I did not.
Yeah, Colin Simmons, right? You know, Michael Tabb. You mentioned Michael Tabb. You know, but I mean, we're gonna have one of the best defenses in the country still. That's something that's not going to change. Arguably, probably, I don't know how you feel about this, but arguably one of the best secondaries in the country. You know, so I think we're going to have a really good defense. So another good year for Texas.
And the country. I think Oregon can compete. I think y'all are going to have one of the best, though. I get that. Texas A&M is going to have one of the best.
Oh, no, I don't like Texas A&M. I can't wait to go to them.
Sarkisian, I forgot. Well, you did say before Texas, it was made me forget. But before Texas, he did not win a conference title. But y'all won the last Big 12 conference title. Remember, y'all beat the mess out of.
I'm sorry. I said before Texas.
Yeah.
Before the SEC.
Sorry, y'all beat the mess out of Oklahoma State in the last Big 12. Well, in y'all last Big 12 championship.
Did he win? He didn't win. Did he win?
Coach of the year.
Yeah, as far as the conference.
Probably not. I don't know. Because Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy might have won Coach of the Year because they weren't expected to be that good. That was 2023. Big 12 Coach of the Year. I would say he should have, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Mike Gundy that year. Yep, 2023, Mike Gundy won it.
Okay.
Dang, that's crazy. But I'm not surprised. Like I said, Ollie Gordon came out of nowhere. They were not picked to be that well, be that good. I figured Mike Gundy won it.
But I do agree with his comment though.
Hold on. I go ahead, Ethan. Oh,
Like if ours is better, if he's better than yours, I mean, our defense is going to be really good. It's going to be really good. It's all about. Huh?
You got a chance. I will say that y'all do have a chance for sure. You got it's other teams that got a chance. You got Notre Dame. They bouncing back. You got Penn State. I got them being undefeated, winning the Big Ten. You got Clemson. I got Clemson losing one game to South Carolina and winning the ACC. You got K-State. I don't think the K-State in the mix though. I ain't gonna lie. I do have K-State winning the Big 12. If you haven't watched my Big 12 show, but I don't think they're going to be in the mix for Natty. And then Bama is going to be in the mix. Nobody knows who I got winning the SEC yet, but Bama's going to be in the mix. I think South Carolina's going to be in the mix. Or maybe they might put Ole Miss in over us because I have us losing to Ole Miss with the same identical record. Ohio State. Let's see what Julian Saban can do. They're going to be in the mix. Jeremiah Smith is back. He's only a sophomore. He's going to be back for 2 more years.
How about this? We have a better shot.
I think I have a chance.
That's obvious, though. That's obvious. Yeah. If he's better than yours, that's definitely obvious.
Yeah, for sure. So some transfers that I highlighted. Jack Enders, tight end from Cal, 623 yards, 2 touchdowns. Every quarterback needs a security blanket, and I think this is a really good replacement for Gunnar Helm as a security blanket. Emmett Mosley, a receiver for Stanford, at 525 yards and 6 touchdowns. If I remember correctly, he's a guy that can stretch the field. And Murad Watson, a defensive tackle who had 30 total tackles, 15 solos for Syracuse. I think that's a solid pickup there, just to add to the depth of the defense. Y'all finished 21st in total offense, 3rd in total defense, 14th in passing, 71st in rushing, which I had injuries at the running back position. 29th in scoring, 7th in pass defense, 13th in rushing defense, and 3rd in scoring defense. You ready? You can get to the schedule.
Let's go.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I have y'all winning every game except for Florida.
I have us winning every game except for Georgia.
So I have y'all going 11-1, 7-1.
Same. 11-1, 7-1.
Yep. So taking the over 9.
Man, we won't beat Florida, man. Go on and feed it.
Swamp. And that swamp. That swamp dangerous, man. I hate to say it. I'm not a Florida. I hate Florida. That swamp dangerous. Texas A&M. Coach Mike Elko's alma mater, where last year he came off a 9-8-5, 5-3 season. If it wasn't for y'all, they would have been played in the SEC championship game. But hey, y'all beat them head to head 17. I still can't believe that game was only 17-7. That pisses me off. But it's really not even y'all fault for real. It's their fault because there's no way in HE double hockey sticks they should have lost to Auburn. You lose to Auburn in 6 overtimes with that defense is crazy. You actually deserve not to play in that SEC championship. So never mind. I take that back. It's not your fault. It's Texas A&M fault. Beat Auburn. They did lose the Vegas Bowl to USC 35-31, but they returned 15 starters, man. They returned 15 starters, which I believe is the most in the SEC. 7 on offense, 8 on defense. Now, I'm not the biggest Marcel Reed guy. I am not. I can acknowledge he's a dual threat guy. Oh, this is the but. He's a dual threat guy, but if you make him have to pass the ball, it gets a little dicey for me, at least in my opinion. It gets a little scary. He went 147 to 240, 61.3% completion percentage, 1,864 yards, and 15 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But he had 547 yards on the ground and 7 rushing touchdowns. They really returned Le'Veon Moss, Amari Daniels, and Reuben Owens. But their main guy is Le'Veon Moss. 121 carries, 765 yards, 6.3 a carry. And 10 rushing touchdowns. They returned all 5 of their O-linemen as well. So they get their quarterback, the running back, and all 5 O-linemen. So that's one reason why I'm super high on Texas A&M. Then, defensively, they bring back the guy who sent Luther Bird in a blanket and said, get ready to be covered all day, and then strapped him. The blanket Will Lee. One of the best corners in the country. 42 total tackles, 39 solos, 10 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, pick 6, and a forced fumble. Des Ricks, another cornerback, 20 total tackles, 17 solos, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Marcus Radcliffe, a safety, 48 total tackles, 28 solos, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Dalton Brooks, 59 total tackles, 38 solos, a sack, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Torian York, a linebacker, 82 total tackles, 35 solos, 2.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, an interception, and fumble recovery. Scooby Williams, I think I said him already. No, I didn't. Scooby Williams, linebacker, 42 total tackles, 23 solos, 4 pass breakups, interception, fumble recovery. Bryce Anderson, safety, 24 total tackles, 16 solos, 2 pass breakups, interception, and a touchdown. And Albert Regis, defensive tackle, 36 total tackles, 16 solos, half a sack, and 6 pass breakups. They lose Noah Thomas at receiver. They actually lost their receiving core for real.
Mm-hmm.
At 39 catches, 874 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Who transferred to Georgia. Jabri Barber came from Troy. He had 38 catches, 381 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is a big loss in my opinion. I'm actually still surprised he didn't get drafted in the first round. He came in with like top 10, projected top 10 pick out of Purdue. And I thought he played pretty well throughout the season. But Nick Scorton, 37 total tackles, 27 solos, 5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. I believe he even led Texas A&M in sacks. But he went, I think, second round to the Panthers. Shamar Turner, defensive tackle, 36 total tackles, 20 solos, 2 sacks, pass breakup, and a forced fumble, went to the Bears. And almost allegedly returning Shamar Stewart, edge rusher, who had 31 total tackles, 14 solos, a sack and a half, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble, who had that huge contract thing with the Bengals, but is now currently signed. So. But yeah, they were 10th overall recruiting class, 11th in transfers. Talk to me about Texas A&M, Joe.
All right, Texas A&M, like you said, defensively they'll be good. Now, outside of Reed, how you feel about the secondary? Before I go,
like I said, one of the best in the country.
Okay, all right. Now, I think the D line is really good. I mean, you said the whole defense, right? So the defense is gonna be good. But what I like about them offensively is they do have a top offensive lineman, Reed Adams. They say he's a top run blocker, one of the top run blockers in the country. Okay. They offensive line period is one of the best also, and they are a heavy dose running team.
Yeah, you know, they got a trio of backs.
Yeah, I mean, you could a quarterback too.
No, and that's without including Marcel Reed.
No, I'm saying if you include it's more than a trio. And you include Kevin Concepcion, also the slot receiver, who also can get the ball and overspray like far as running the ball. So they can be super dynamic running the ball with that offensive line. But like you said, when it comes to forcing them to throw the ball, that's when the problems are going to come when it comes to the team. But they're another team. There are multiple teams in this conference where they can be anywhere to 5 to 9 wins for real. You know, and I think Texas A&M is one of them.
Yeah, so you are absolutely right. The trio of running backs that I brought up earlier is like phenomenal, and they got that great O-line to run behind. And then you bring in the dual threat of Marcel Reed. And I'm glad you brought up the KC Concepcion get, because that was huge. That's so big, and I hope he helps Marcel Reed in the passing game, because he was at NC State just rotting away. Like, he was so talented, especially his freshman year. But he had Brennan Armstrong, who was a shell of himself, and then Grayson McCall, who medically retired from football, which was sad because he was so good at Coastal, but it just went bad. So he had to leave, and I'm glad he came here. I think this is going to be huge for KC Concepcion. If he can ball in the SEC, I think he'll get his name into more households than it should already be in. And then TJ Searcy off the edge is good, because they need to replace the edge replacement lost by Shamar Stewart and Nick Scorton. And TJ Searcy could be the Nick Scorton of this year, who had 3 sacks for Florida. But another huge get, and I think this will really help Marcel Reed a ton, is Amari Nieblak, the tight end. He came from Bama. He came from y'all as well. So he went from Texas to Bama, and at Texas was his best year, 20 catches, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns. And I think he went from Texas to Texas A&M, which honestly is very taboo, because Texas and Texas A&M are huge rivals. Like, this rivalry is now being renewed now that y'all both are in the SEC. It was lost when Texas A&M left the Big 12 to go to the SEC. Now that y'all are there, this rivalry is renewed. So for him to do that is kind of crazy. But I think that's a huge get for Texas A&M, nonetheless. I am super high on them defensively, especially if they can put pressure on the quarterback like they did last year. Like I said, Mike Elko, he's a defensive coach. He's going to draw it up. He's going to have great game plans defensively. Reed just got to figure it out offensively throwing the ball. And I think Knee Black and Casey Concepcion helps him out a ton. They were 49th in total offense, 63rd in total defense, tied 87th in passing, 26th in rushing, 50th in scoring offense, 90th in passing defense, 42nd in rushing defense, 35th in scoring defense. If you want, we could talk. Well, if you're ready, we could talk about the schedule.
Let's get it.
So they play against UTSA. And I like UTSA, but this is a win.
I got this as a win too.
Then they play Utah State. I had this as a win.
Same.
Shout out Coach Mendenhall, though. Ooh, I think I just got my last team for the 10 teams to look out for. Next is at Notre Dame. I have as a loss.
I do too.
Then at home against Auburn, I have as a win.
Same.
At home against Mississippi State, win.
Same.
At home against Florida, I have as a win.
I do too.
On the road against Arkansas, I have as a win.
I do too.
On the road against LSU, I have as a loss.
Same.
At home, on the road against Wisconsin, I have as a win. I said Wisconsin, Mizzou.
Oh yeah,
It's late, bro. It's 2:15. Wisconsin. That's Mizzou.
I was like, did I make a mistake? I got this as a loss. You said a loss?
I said win.
Okay, I got this as a loss.
South Carolina at home, I have as a win.
Oh yeah, you did say that. I got this as a loss.
And then Sanford at home, I have as a win.
W.
And then at Texas, huge rivalry game, I have as a loss.
Loss.
I have Texas A&M going 9-3, 6-2.
7-5, 4-4.
Oh, because we differ. No.
South Carolina and Missouri.
But that's only 2 games. And really, it's only one because you got them winning against. No, you have them. I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay.
Now we got everything identical except for those 2.
Yeah, I got them. Yeah, I'm really high. I have the over 7.5 win total. You got the under by the hook.
Yeah, I know you prefer 8-4 because you want South Carolina to win that game.
Yeah, I do want South Carolina to win. But, I mean, that's just tough going into Cal Field. I know how tough that environment is. Now, off personal experience, I ain't never been, but, man, I see it on TV. It look crazy. And then, like, it's crazy to go in there and win. But we are on to our final SEC school. Thank you, everybody that has been tuned in. We are almost out of here. We are on to Vanderbilt. Clark Lee and the boys have renewed ambitions. Made a bowl game. They actually won the bowl game. And I don't get why people clown them for making a bowl ring. Everybody does it. I guess because y'all not used to seeing Vandy in a bowl game, yet let alone win it. You wanted to clown them, but whatever. They went 7-6, 3-5, beating Georgia Tech, honestly, in the Birmingham Bowl, 35-27, which that surprised me when it happened. But it's Diego Pavia. He just does the impossible. He beat Auburn at New Mexico State. That is crazy. They returned 13 starters, 5 on offense, 8 on defense. But the one that matters is, again, Diego Pavia, quarterback, who went 177 to 298, 59.4 completion percentage, 2,293 yards, 20 passing touchdowns to 4 interceptions, but also added 800 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. Eli Stowers, tight end, 49 catches, 638 yards and 5 touchdowns. Cedric Alexander, a running back who had 164 carries, 586 yards, 3.6 a carry, and 6 touchdowns. Junior Sherrill, 29 catches, 411 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Brian Logwell, linebacker, 89 total tackles, 40 solos, a sack and a half, 4 PBUs, and an interception. Langston Patterson, a linebacker who had 78 total tackles, 38 solos, 2 pass breakups, and a fumble recovery. Randon Fontenette, safety, 72 tackles, 41 solos, 3.5 sacks, 7 pass breakups, an interception, and a pick 6. Miles Capers, edge rusher, had 46 total tackles, 22 solos, 3 sacks, 3 pass breakups, an interception, 3 forced fumbles. Corday Snyder, defensive lineman with 14 total tackles, 8 solos, 4 sacks, and 2 pass breakups. Yelenan Auditora, D lineman with 31 total tackles, 11 solos, 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a fumble recovery. And Martell Height, cornerback, 33 total tackles, 27 solos, 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. They lost Quincy Skinner Jr., receiver, went to the Falcons, 29 catches, 367 yards, and 3 touchdowns. My guy, DeRicky Wright, who did not get drafted, who's not currently on the team. Safety, who had 48 total tackles, 3 solos, 35 solos, 2 pass breakups, interception, and a fumble recovery. And CJ Taylor, safety, had 64 total tackles, 43 solos, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. The 51st overall recruiting class, 36 in transfers. Talk to me about Vandy, Joe.
Yeah. So Vandy first winning season since 2013, since James Franklin's last year being there.
Oh, that was
So that's a big deal for them. They won 7-6, and they surprised. They beat Alabama last year, right? Yeah, they beat Alabama last year.
They beat Bama and Auburn.
That Alabama wasn't the game winning field goal.
No, they won it off with Pavia running for a first down. They took a knee.
Okay. But I remember them beating Alabama, and that was like a big deal. So shout out to them for that.
That was their first ever win against the number 1 ranked team.
Crazy, and it's crazy after having that season, going 7-6. Their point total is 4.5. That's crazy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already mentioned, it, Diego Pavio and Eli Stowers probably, arguably, in the conversation, the best QB tight end duo in the country.
I would agree.
Yeah, so that's good. Now the defense is what I worry about with this team.
Yes, sir.
I worry they lost their top. You know, you went to the names. They lost 2 of their top defensive players last year. So I mean that's going to be a problem. The defense basically. And do I think they're going to repeat what they did last year or grow up that? We shall see when we go through the schedule. You there? Oh, don't tell me this my computer died. We down to the last team. Yep. I'm gonna hit y'all with a commercial break. All right, and then when Carl come back, we're gonna be back. Let's get it.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri.
This is Ed Hahn.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. In the
We back. I don't know what just happened, but my computer just reset on its own. I was looking at the show, and the next thing I know, I'm looking at a blank screen. I'm sorry, Joe. I need you to repeat what you said after you said Eli Stowers and Diego Pavia are the best tight end QB duo.
I mean, that's what I said. I said that, and I said the defense is what I worry about. I worry about the defense of this team.
I agree. I mean, I know they return a lot on defense, but the defense wasn't that great. It was decent to solid, I would say. But in the SEC, you need to be better. So I agree with that sentiment. I do think that the continuity of bringing back 8 starters is big. And I do think Clark Lee and the guys will figure out ways to become a better defense. But I don't know about it being one of the better defenses in the SEC. So funny, right? Diego Pavia, he got his guy, Eli Stowers. He gets another one of his guys, Trent Hudson, who played with him at New Mexico State 2 years ago. He transfers in. He was in 2023 with Pavia. He had 35 catches, 551 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Now, last year, I think he played at like Cal, but yeah, he transfers in. CJ Hurd, a safety from FAU, transfers in. 80 total tackles, 53 solos, pass breakup, forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. And then Mason Nelson transfers in, a D lineman from Western Michigan. 30 total tackles, 12 solos, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, and 2 forced fumbles. So they're looking to help bolster this defense. They were 123rd in total offense, 74th in total defense, 117th in passing, 86th in rushing, 73rd in scoring offense, 97th in passing defense, 52nd in rushing defense, and tied 50th in scoring defense. If you're ready, let's get the final schedule out the way.
Woo! Let's go.
All right. So We're gonna start with Charleston Southern, which I have as a win.
W.
Next, we're gonna start. Next we have at Virginia Tech in a rematch, home to home series. They won last year. I have it as a W.
W.
Next, at South Carolina, I have it as a loss.
Same.
Next, this is actually a revenge game. They lost this game last year to Georgia State. I have them winning though.
W.
Next, we have Utah State, which I have as a win.
W.
Then at Alabama, I have as a loss.
Same.
Loss at home against LSU.
Loss.
Win against Mizzou at home.
W also.
Loss at Texas.
Loss.
Loss at home against Auburn.
Loss.
Win at home against Kentucky.
Win.
And the swing game, which I know you're not going to agree. I have them beating Tennessee at home. On the
But I don't think we agree on everything on one team.
No.
Except for like the 0-8 teams.
Yeah, except for Kentucky and Mississippi State.
Outside of that, it's always been like one team that we.
Yeah, we don't fully agree. We might have the same record, but it's a different way.
And it comes down to one of the last few games every time.
I just think Vandy this year. They've been breaking some curses. They beat Bama. They won their first ever game against the number one team. They beat Auburn. I think this is the year to beat Tennessee.
Okay.
They better take advantage of this year to beat Tennessee. I think this is one of the years Tennessee's going to have its weaker year. So,
So you got them going 7-5.
7-5, 3-5. Taking over 4.5.
I got 6-6, 2-6.
Yeah, I might bet that. That's crazy. 4.5 wins is kind of disrespectful, but it's Vanderbilt. I figured that'd be disrespectful.
I think we agreed on every non-conference game except for Florida State and
Florida.
Florida, yeah, that's the only non-conference game we disagree with.
Yeah, I think Florida State going to have to take that L. But we can move on to our SEC wrap up. Where do you have your standings?
Yes.
You're the first guest to actually have the standings. I want you to know that. Yes. They'll never have this thing. I'll tell them too, like, make sure you have your standings. They'll never have it. They'll have like their top 5 or something, but they won't have the full conference standings.
I got the full standings, yeah.
All right, so my number one team, and now this is basically out of alphabetical order because they don't play each other. Bama is number 1 because A becomes before T.
See,
they don't play each other, and I'm not like the guru of tiebreakers. Like
I had looked it up.
I've looked it up too, but I ain't that good at that. So
yeah, the tiebreaker is head to head, and then it's common opponents. Opponents.
I ain't about to do it. I got Alabama number 1, 11-1, 7-1, and Texas number 2, 11-1, 7-1, playing each other in the SEC title game. Number 3, I have LSU 9-3, 6-2, because it was somewhere. It was because I think they beat Ole Miss and Texas A&M, something like that. That one I kind of worked out, but it was like it took me a minute to work it out. 10-2, 6-2 at number 4. Texas A&M at 5, 9-3, 6-2. South Carolina at 6, 10-2, 6-2. Florida at 7, 9-3, 5-3. Georgia at 8, 9-3, 5-3. Auburn at 9, 8-4, 5-3. Vandy at 10, 7-5, 3-5. Tennessee at 11 because Vandy, I got them beating them 7-5, 3-5. Arkansas at 12, 5-7, 2-6. Mizzou at 13, 6-6, 2-6. I got Arkansas beating Mizzou. Oklahoma at 14, 5-7, 1-7. Kentucky at 15, 3-9, 0-8 because K becomes for M, and Mississippi State 3-9, 0-8. Even if you do common opponents, they all lose. So
yeah. So I got number 1 Alabama. So we agree. So number 1 Alabama, 11-1, 7-1 conference play. Number 2, I got LSU.
So you don't even make the SEC title game?
No, bro. Like based on the tiebreakers, we don't make it because LSU beat Georgia and we lose to Georgia.
See, I got y'all winning that game.
You know, so I got us. I got us. Hold on. Do you name your winner?
No, I was going to get to that in a second.
Oh, okay. So Alabama 1, LSU 2, 10-1. One new conference play, 7-1. Texas 3rd at 7-1. Ole Miss is 4th at 7-1.
We actually agree on Ole Miss at 4, but different records.
Yeah, so I had Ole Miss losing to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be that's a big game for me. When it's Georgia 5th, 6-2. South Carolina 5-3. Missouri 4-4. Tennessee 4-4. Texas A&M 4-4. Oklahoma 3-5. Florida 3-5. Arkansas 3-5. Auburn 2-6. Vanderbilt 2-6. Mississippi State 0-8. Kentucky 0-8.
Okay. So my SEC title game is Bama versus Texas. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I think I had to reset everything. And yeah, I got the sound effect. I didn't use it before.
Is it drum roll?
Yeah. I got it. And the winner is Alabama. I'm sorry. Second year in a row, you get to the dance, but the clock strikes midnight early. I'm going with Bama.
All right. I'm going with Bama too. So we agree with that.
We agree. Bama wins the SEC, and Kalen DeBoer gets a lot of haters off his back.
And just a reminder, I have Alabama going against LSU.
Yep, he has the most boring national championship game rematch of 15 years ago. Offensive player of the year. I was thinking Arch. I was thinking Illinois Sellers. I ultimately landed on Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback LSU. Who was your offensive player of the year?
Garrett Nussmeier. They're the same person.
And my defensive player of the year, I've been foreshadowing it this whole episode. Dylan Stewart, edge rusher, South Carolina. I
actually put Dylan Stewart too.
That is hilarious.
So we got Alabama, Dylan Stewart, and Garrett. Now, do you have so far as my SEC player of the year, I do have a dark horse though.
I could come up with a dark horse.
Yeah, my dark horse.
Well, hold on. Because the dark horse. Let me look at my record. Because the dark horse. All right, I got one.
I don't have a dark horse for defense though.
I got one for offense.
My dark horse is Austin Simmons.
Okay.
Austin Simmons, bro. Mm-hmm.
My dark horse would be Amari Daniels.
No.
Le'Veon Moss. Sorry.
Le'Veon Moss.
Running back for Texas A&M.
You love Texas A&M.
I mean, if Texas A&M going to be 9-3, 6-2, fifth in the conference, I think Le'Veon Moss is going to have a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
If I have a dark horse defensive player of the year, Michael Taft. I don't even know if that's a dark horse though, but I'll go Michael Taft. Safety for Texas.
Yeah. Dark horse. That's crazy. We both picked Dylan Stewart, but I had a feeling, that's your guy.
Hey man, he's just following in the footsteps of Cal Kennard.
And I don't know.
Well, I didn't think you would go Garrett Nussmeier. I thought you might go Arch.
No, man. See, I think our defense is going to be our bread and butter.
See, I didn't think Arch was going to be an SEC player of the year. I think he's going to be a candidate, but I think he's going to be like one of the last few candidates. And it's because our record is so good.
Yeah, but I think that, like I said it in my LSU wrap up, whenever Nussmeier will when he gonna throw the ball a lot, and I think his stats gonna be really good.
Yeah, Austin Simmons. Man, he got Lane Kiffin. Oh no, Nussmeier. You talking about Nussmeier?
Yeah, and Austin. That's why I picked Austin Simmons too, and they got weapons like crazy over there.
Yeah,
so
for sure gonna have them. But I picked Nussmeier, like you said. He's gonna be throwing the ball a lot. I mean, he made the decision to come back because a lot of people were saying he should have probably went to the draft. So him making that decision to come back, I think they're gonna put the ball in his hands a ton, and he's gonna have a lot of Heisman moments. So, and I got him 3. I got him 9-3, 6-2, and you got him 2nd. You got him making the SEC championship game. So
it's crazy because, like I said, LSU. I originally had one game as an L. Remember, and I changed it mid-show. So when I changed it, it literally bumped into the natty. I mean, not natty, but
SEC championship
game. So
I respect it. I like it. I mean, so Joe, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Final words, man.
I'm not gonna lie, this was fun, man. This is a lot. I'm kind of mad I didn't do this before. This was fun. This was really fun. I know it would be better if it's 3. I think 3 people. I was my man Dave could have showed up, but he couldn't make
Hey,
it.
look, I ain't gonna lie. Normally, I would agree with you, but
Oh.
under these circumstances, we'd been here and bump another hour and some change up.
No, you're right. But this was really fun though, and you know, getting into college football more and all that stuff, and doing these previews. It's like it's grabbing me more. You know what I mean? I was like I gotta see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be checking this thing throughout the whole season, make sure my predictions right. You know what I mean? So this was a lot of fun. Just preparing for the episode was a lot of fun too. You know what I mean? So I've been dialed in these last 7 days for real. So I'm glad you invited me. Glad you had me on. And yeah, man, and then it worked out. It was good. And shout out to the whole network, man. Shout out to CTC. Make sure if y'all watching, hey, the people that's watching still, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to CTC, Call Talking College, the best college sports show in the world. Make sure y'all do that.
I appreciate you, Joe. One person did subscribe while we were on air, so I appreciate that.
Let's get it.
So I appreciate the support and everything. I appreciate you coming on. It was definitely fun. It's always fun. Now preparing, my hands be hurting, so I don't know how much fun that is. But I still got 10 more schools to do. I got to do my group of 5. I still got more work to do. I got to do my group of 5. That's coming out tomorrow, and I got to do my playoffs and awards. That's coming out Thursday, and then I still got to preview week 0. Which comes out Friday, and still got to do the preparation for the Ravens panel on Friday as well. So, about to be a busy week for your boy, but I definitely appreciate you coming on. Definitely had fun with the SEC. I'm actually surprised we had the same SEC players of the year and SEC champs. Yeah, so that was actually a delightful surprise. And to be honest, we were in the same ballpark in terms of like teams. Yeah, 1 or 2 games might have swayed it, but for the most part, we was there. And I got to figure out something in college basketball to make you grab your attention in college basketball. I don't know what it is because it ain't gonna be a preview because I'm not previewing schools. 30 games in 100 schools, no. But I gotta figure something out that'll make you pay attention to college basketball. Maybe I could do a segment, but it's just college basketball preseason. It's too many games. It's too many schools.
You can do over and unders.
Yeah, but still, you gotta like kind of dial in. You still gotta know about the school transfers, all that. It's a lot. But I'm gonna find something out. We're gonna get you on this college basketball train.
Let's get it.
But yeah, I appreciate anybody that stayed tuned and watched. Hopefully, you learned something. Hopefully, like Joe, you got more interested in the college football season because it is 4 days away. Really, 3 days away now because today is technically Monday, means Wednesday, but. Yeah, that's all. Well, anything else before I end the show?
It's exciting. I can't wait.
All right. Well, that's all we got for y'all today. Next up on the network, to my knowledge, is the Commanders panel hosted by Joe himself. And then I'll be on after him. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Get y'all some sleep because I am. My bad. Go ahead.
I thought y'all rush off before I go on Jersey. No, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow.
Sir,
I'm wearing 17 because he's signing this week.
I don't know about all that. But I'll play with Ohio State on NCAA football just for you. I'm lying, I won't. But yeah, y'all tune into those shows, and we will catch y'all next time. I'm about to go to sleep. Probably am about to play one more game in NCAA, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.